Harmony.
Right?
Yep. That's America.
In honor of that R in that R&B.
The hell
Stay
was
safe,
that?
bro. Stay safe.
What did I just miss?
Make sure you put phone books, tape it to your
What?
stomach. Bro, R. Kelly, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's down for the count.
30 years, man. For
A
what?
long time.
Body's
some-
saying no. But
For
everyone
some
else is
garbage
saying
CGI they added to the video?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean...
Remember that song, Feeling on Your Booty by R. Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Drip, drip, drip.
Wow.
There's so many new meanings now.
Trapped in a cell. Bubba.
Trapped in a cell of my own sadness. Still upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in Australia. He's supposed to be. I get it now.
Oh, culture was deep with that one. I didn't even realize that.
I told him to do it.
You're banned.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 4th of July countdown, because it's not the 4th yet, but it is America's birthday. Happy birthday, America.
Say, can you see?
Don't. I gotta go back to D&D real quick. Don't do everyone's top 5 R. Kelly songs without me. I'll be right back.
We do need a top 5, though. Find a top 5. So we're going to be talking freedom of speech tonight. We're going to be talking Joe Rogan and Gina Carano. That was a great podcast. I don't know if anybody else caught it. I did. I loved it. We're going to be talking about Jordan Peterson getting banned off of Twitter. Elon, just finalize the deal, please. We're going to be talking, what was that article that you sent to me, Mark, about, was it
I sent a few.
Kenobi, the one about Kenobi, and then the one about, we're racist again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, the fandom menace must be stopped. That was the article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely going over that one. I mean, and when it comes from Salon, it's important.
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to name drop me one day.
Oh, dude, wouldn't that be awesome?
I would keep on doing what you're doing.
They don't
Yeah.
do that to women.
Yeah.
No, I don't exist. It won't matter.
Jane, you're this close to 10K. You will exist at some point. You'll be like a race trader or something stupid,
Something nice like that. Yeah.
Something nice
It's
like
inevitable. Sooner or later, they're going to figure out how to deal with the likes of us.
Yes.
Jane and I. And when that hell comes, we'll be ready for it.
We'll be ready.
Well, I've seen the way the left deal with you on Twitter, and I don't like it.
I know.
It is like they can get away with saying whatever they want, man.
Yeah.
They
See, I
try.
didn't even know you were an uncle. So there you go. You learn things every week.
I thought your first name was Mark. I'm very confused.
Yeah.
He's
It's
Tom
weird.
Fella. They
I
keep
toy with
confusing
them,
you
though.
with-
I love it. I love it. Bring it on. I want that
Yes.
smoke.
You know what? You're renting space in their head, so you're winning. You're winning.
Yeah.
But Mark, introduce yourself. We have Mark the Gospel, Mark according to C. What else names would you like to go by?
Uncle Tom, Yes, hello everybody. Happy 4th of July weekend. Free R. Kelly. Free. Oh no, wrong shit. Okay, never mind.
I think you deserved it. Thank you for being here. And the lovely Jane Theory. How are you tonight?
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
See, Jane Theory is the ringleader behind the fellowship. You are now, and I thought it was ringer. That would have been awesome.
I should get my tiki torch and put it in my little thing. That'd be cool.
There you go. That would be awesome.
You got to have it in your profile pic as well.
Yeah.
We also have Mr. Grant Gregory from Australia celebrating with us the American way.
Yeah, well, I figured, I might as well do it with my brothers from another continent and sisters. So, yeah, happy 4th of July weekend to everyone. And, yeah, I don't know how old your country is. All I know is that it's old enough it should know better.
Come on, man.
This
We
is
have
cultural appropriation right here at its finest.
Yes.
Damn
yes.
straight it is.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
And I don't know, Matt, are you there? Can you introduce yourself? He's playing tabletop on something. We still don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, he's not there. But you know who is here? Small Time Republic as a new channel member. He is back, and I am proud. Thank you, my friend. Welcome back to the Oberyn Mattel. That is awesome, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Welcome to So is that 1 year he paid for? I don't even know what that means. Or he is 1 year.
I think it means he's been a member for 1 year.
Yeah. See, it says like new member, but I know he's been around forever. So that's a weird one.
If he doesn't renew it every single month on the day sort of thing, it'll just say a new member every time that they do it. So each month he's considered a new membership. So
can you hear my dehumidifier?
A little bit.
Is it like a nice hum or annoying hum?
Oh, I thought it was your pacemaker.
No, that comes on later. That comes on later after my 4th double cheeseburger and bacon. But yeah, spam that chat with the American flag, people. It's America. Yeah, you are British, but happy America to you too.
Happy we got away day.
Yeah. Happy we beat your
Happy
ass.
America to you. Is that what it is now? Happy America to you.
Happy America to you.
The terrorist won.
You know, for once, the terrorists did good. The terrorists did good. We kicked some ass. Yeah, I love how we changed it to celebrate like the Tea Party was this like monumental, historic, and just loyal, beautiful thing. It was a bunch of hooligans.
We were literally rioting.
Just rioting and smashing up stuff. I mean, even the propaganda from back then is just like today. You have the picture of the Boston Massacre with like the English, soldiers with a big smile on their face shooting like the lonely people. Yeah, they were getting attacked. Like I love it.
It's the American way, man.
Mostly people.
In the streets.
Yeah,
propaganda. That's America to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. Makini Draws for $5. He's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please, guys, subscribe to Makini. He's very talented. Hail and happy 4th of July weekend, Sporkerz. Hashtag the dump world order. I love that. I like that. And you know what?
Thumbnail, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I did like none of that. I actually came up with a concept and they completely changed it. I'll show you my concept real quick and then you'll see what they did. So this is what they did. Hold on. We got this. Looks great, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And now I'll show you what I did. And I thought what I did was pretty good. Big.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not blue enough.
I like blue. I don't know if you guys know that about me. I like blue. It's racist, I know.
You're wearing a blue shirt, so it makes sense.
Blue hat. It used to be blue. I got my American flower one of my kids made me.
Oh.
Hey, I'm raising Americans.
That's cute.
I think if everybody started thinking that way that are from America, that you raise your children as Americans, maybe we get, away from all these like cultural divides. Because we're American. We are the melting pot. I'm supposed to have corn rolls because that's part of our thing now.
Okay. I was just watching Lois and Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
And they incorporated that into the show where he says he fights for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of like, let's stop apologizing for being where we're from. I wouldn't expect Mr. Grant Gregory to apologize for where he's from. Everyone should be proud of where they were born,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, and Jane, I don't know if them taking that away, like they also did in the show where he will not ever say he will help the I'll be there when you need me, but I will not be seen as an American sympathizer, American supporter. That's one thing I've noticed in that show.
They haven't said that in the show, though.
Yeah, they kind of have. He leaned into it on one episode with where he's talking to like a general, the new general. The dad left, and it's like a new general, and he's like, join my team. And he's like, I can't do that. I need the world to see.
I don't think they see him
that's
as
what it was.
a
He said he's the
American.
world's hero, not just Americans, not just Americas.
But you can be the world's
yeah.
hero by representing American values, if you like.
Yeah, I just think the American way was kind of nice, Like, I don't know.
You'll
Only
never see
20.
Superman flying with the flag again like Christopher Reeve.
How dope was that scene?
It really was.
Speaking of someone as heroic as Superman, we have a super chat from
Wow.
Andy McCallum.
Andy. Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate that, man. 50 pounds. That's way more than $50 in America, I believe now. Little something to help you with the channel. I appreciate that, man, because all the funds from next 2 months are going to go to me getting to Orlando. So I really appreciate it. And to everybody that was given memberships, gifted ones, I promise that I will. I'll show up as a channel. I was about to call myself a channel member. As the host of the channel, I will do things for my channel members. I need to. And we might, I have Mr. Grant Gregory hitting me with like a hot poker telling me I need to do it. So I will.
Yeah. That'll get you like a gallon of gas right now.
Yeah. I have a Camry and it was $80 to fill up my tank.
Whoa.
$80.
God,
And that was cheap.
I wish ours were that cheap.
Well, how much is a gallon where you are?
Well, it'll be the equivalent of about $13, $12 to $13.
$13?
Yeah.
The hell is going on?
Are you in a third world country or something?
But y'all
No,
are in
they have
Ireland.
cheaper gas.
Do y'all have gas on your landmass?
Yeah, do you guys pump for gas at all, or do you have like people that say it's too dangerous and they shut it down and then they buy it from the desert and make those people rich?
All the stuff that we produce, none of it goes to Australia. It goes straight overseas. We get none of it. So
that's stupid. So I have 2 minutes before I have to move over to my phone because I am in my office / guest room and my in-laws are here and they're getting up very early to leave to go home tomorrow. So
are they going to get on camera? Are they going to sit there?
No. That would you know what? Next time I have to think of something.
Grandpa Spork or
well, we're about to bring out Grandpa. This is a different Grandpa though. This is Grandpa America, and he's here. He's here to, I don't know, better our lives. He's here to celebrate America. He's here to be the symbol of America for the rest of the world. And I just want to say, you're welcome. Here we go, people. This is your speech for the day.
I've got the better version of the video in.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yep.
I screwed that up completely. Boomer moment.
All right, so play it. If you want to talk, you have to manually unmute yourself to talk during it. So, all right, here we go.
That's fine.
Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases. If you hold
Vaccine
near
can
and
stop the
dear
spread.
to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
A wordsmith and a lyrical genius.
I am so embarrassed for us and everyone else. Mr. Vice President,
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. What a stupid son of a bitch. Sorry, as a bug. Speaking of the environment. That we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact, that's when things began to change. We need to work again with Canada and Mexico as neighbors, not as adversaries. I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does. Estimated 200 million people have died, probably by the time I finish this talk. That's why I made it a priority my entire career to work closely with you. From the time I got to the Senate 180 years ago, as well as my tenure as vice president. Unnecessarily, now we have over 120 million dead from COVID. Hey, everyone. I'm Joe Biden's husband. Well, you should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump. Come on, man. How many push-ups you want to do here? China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. I got them $1.9 trillion relief so far.
workers that are gun enthusiasts, and you are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right and take away our guns.
You're full of shit.
All right, thank you guys.
Shush. Because we cannot get reelect. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Honesty.
You're getting nervous, man. He gave me permission to touch him. By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no. From 15 to 45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise to the equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. When they they need to and bring. They're going about to meet if you haven't already. There's no doubt about them staying oiled and lubricated.
Wow.
That was that was definitely
That's our president.
On the plus side, at least there's no mean tweets anymore. So
The thing is, we have retirement ages for a reason.
I know. This is
I
like
need
elder
the country
abuse.
stop electing the elderly. I like them as
You have
grandparents.
some elderly friends.
How old is he actually?
100, I don't know. Up there.
Was it like late 80s, late 70s or something? I mean, he seems older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that man is like practically crapping himself old, you know? Like he's there.
He's
and
up there.
It says a lot about our country that we would do this. You know, just because we hated the last guy so much, you would put somebody like that out there in front of the whole world. And, you know, it's just embarrassing, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's assuming that he even makes the full term. Who knows what's going to happen at the next thing? Because I don't know how your system works, but they can take him out of power, the Dems, and give it to Kamala, and then she doesn't count as an actual term. Is that correct?
Yeah, they can do that.
So he could literally be president for 10 years. That's crazy.
Could you imagine her? Like, I mean, he's bad enough.
I think she would be a standard Democrat, though.
I don't have any faith in her. That's the thing. She doesn't really inspire like confidence. That's the thing. I don't feel safe with her.
But that's the problem. We haven't had a competent president.
Is that like ever or since there's?
I'm trying to think
who
if
do you think was the
ever.
last one?
Maybe Washington. I don't know.
Washington that far back?
I'm literally trying. Well, Kennedy, maybe. I don't know. But he wasn't.
I think Kennedy. I think that's a good one because he was pretty much loved, except I don't know by whoever shot him. You know, but it seems like I mean, his image. I think he was the first president that was like media friendly. Like he was on television. And my mom, she'll tell me how everybody like cried and everything when that happened.
He brought people together, so he had to die. That sort of situation, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially in the after parties, he brought a lot of people together.
I mean, when you get somebody like that clown, the Canada guy, Trudeau, whatever his name is, it's like you realize we're in a very bad time right now. It's like the people look to leadership. You want to point your kids in a certain direction and stuff, but God, it's like a runaway train at this point. We don't even know where we're going anymore. You know what I mean?
We don't. Somebody said Reagan. Reagan was all right. He was probably the last presidential type president, I think. Yeah. In terms of how he carried himself.
Yeah, because in Australia, we don't really get taught a lot all about the American presidents, apart from obviously whoever is currently in, and your big ones throughout history and everything. All I've heard about Carter was he was a terrible president. Does anyone want to elaborate on that? Like,
I haven't.
Why was he bad?
Did he do anything? Did he accomplish anything? I don't really know much about him, honestly.
Jimmy Carter?
Yeah.
He's accomplished longevity. Now, there's a guy who's got to be pushing like about 100 by now. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's still around.
Other than that, yeah, he's actually still alive. And the cool thing about it is that, well, actually, it's not cool, but that when a president, whether it's retired or whatever, passes away, it's like a national day of observance. You get a day off and everything. I'm kind of thinking that we have a day off coming up pretty soon. You know what I mean? With Jimmy Carter. But I'm not wishing anything on him. I know that sounds mean and everything. I'm just saying he's pretty old. Yeah.
I didn't know he was still alive either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, and also I know they have the right to get security briefings every single day. Because I know George W. Bush Sr. was getting all the security briefings up until just before he died. So, and I wonder if Senior and George W. is always getting them. So
I can see how they would though, because they have so much information that we will never have about situations that they may be the only people who can bring certain perspectives to the table when they're making decisions.
Yeah. They know all of the secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know where all the bodies are buried.
And the aliens.
Literally. Yep. Exactly. Who just dropped the link?
Yeah. So, all right, Jane, we've had a request that you could read an article. Would you be willing to do that for us?
Let's see. Sure.
You can stop at any time, though.
I can't see it. Well, you have to pull it up.
It should be up on the screen. Is it not up on the screen?
Well, the title. You want to start from there. Okay. Let's all stop. Well, now you moved it. Let's all stop ignoring the fandom menace. It's real, and it's winning.
Yes.
Attacks from the toxic side of Marvel and Star Wars fandom are a feature, not a bug, and they serve a darker side.
There is a dark side.
I see what they did there. That's a reference to that Star Wars thing that was a thing once.
Yeah, once. One of the first highly public instances of Miss Marvel trolling happened nearly a decade ago, courtesy of Stephen Colbert. Ladies and gentlemen, America has lost another battle in the culture war, which is surprising because we've got all the guns, he says. This time the battlefield is comic books, and folks, that saddens me because I'm a fan. Colbert was referring to Marvel's announcement in November 2013 that Kamala Khan, a Muslim teenager from Jersey City, was set to assume the Miss Marvel mantle. This effort has taken me aback. A Muslim cannot be a superhero, for Pete's sake. They're on the no-fly list, Colbert imperiously huffs. It's so even more upsetting, right? How clever. It's even more.
Is he being serious with this? Or...
No, it's
Stephen Colbert. No way.
Yeah, I know that's why it doesn't really sound like Colbert. I mean, I don't really watch the guy anymore, but
no, it's reductionist basically arguments. They're trying to say that this is how we sound by intentionally ignoring our actual criticisms of this type of pandering.
That's what I thought, and I'm like, if he's clearly doing it as a bit or as a joke or something, how are they starting their article off like this? That's what I don't get.
This is what they do, though. If you notice, what every article they put out there, they have to first frame it and put us in this box as being utterly evil and with no particular point or purpose other than to be angry, or we'll get to the racism part soon. But
I was going to say, it makes sense that the racism. I'm looking for it here somewhere that makes us racist because Colbert said it.
They're going to get to it.
They're going to get to it. I haven't actually read this article. I've only heard bits and pieces of it. So I'm not entirely certain what's in it. It looks like we've got Sporking back. Can you hear us, buddy?
Can you hear me?
We heard you. I hear you.
Oh, that's so weird, though. I can't hear you through my microphone. I'm going to mute for a second and work on that. Or through my earbuds.
Yeah.
Right, no worries, buddy.
I'm going to skip over the rest of it because it's just the same stuff. What he says is Colbert's hollowed satire of right-wing talk shows in which he parodied Bill O'Reilly and other Fox News windbags. The audience understood it to be a bit. They're looking at it as if it's parroting. I don't even know why he said O'Reilly.
But I mean, if this is the thing, if it was these that like the right-wing ones that were saying it, why not bring up that? Why start with Colbert?
Right. Why not actually quote people from this community?
Because
she wants to illustrate how we're being mocked, maybe.
It's because she wants to reframe what we're actually saying as something we're not.
But they're so bad they don't even want to give the right person credit because they were on the right side of politics. That's how bad it is. Yeah, like it's like no. Colbert did it. Yeah, he's friendly enough.
No, Nearly a decade later, another group of self-important white guys are railing against Kamala Khan's right to exist in the Marvel universe. You see what I'm saying?
Who are these self-appointed white guys? I don't think it's me, and it's probably not Mark. So who are they talking about exactly?
Me, I guess.
The usual suspects. They get into it at the bottom of the article.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we all know where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll skip down to.
But see, that's what they're thinking. They're saying that people are critical of her right to exist. That's not what people are critical of. They're critical of the stories and how the characters are portrayed and the agenda that's underlying a lot of it. But they want to ignore all of that and create this false narrative that they then argue against. It's ridiculous.
I never got the whole point when people say, "Oh, you're trying to stop my right to exist." What does that mean? How does someone stop someone's right to exist? I don't understand the argument from a fundamental level, like what it actually means.
It really is baffling. I've had a hard time with that myself. I don't understand that, because somebody else is critical of something that for some reason traumatizes you. That's weird.
It's how their victim mentality works.
Wait, go back when they actually introduced the fandom menace, because I think this is pathetic considering the fandom menace is not something that people really have been identifying as since maybe like 2017, but they're acting as if they're just this big reveal,
Yeah.
They call themselves the fandom menace. Oh my god, you know what I mean? It's sad.
It's a very odd thing. Like when it comes to these sort of articles, it always feels like they're about 2 years behind everything.
Exactly.
This one especially. Absolutely.
Yeah. Pull it back up a little bit. I think there it is. Is that it? Yeah. All of this is either directly or tangentially a decentralized web referred to as the Fandom Menace, a group of extremely online comic book and Star Wars zealots that coalesced around a shared dislike for Rian Johnson's Lucasfilm sequel, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Okay, so by their own internal logic in the way in which they work out who's at fault, this is all Rian Johnson's fault.
Right.
That's where it all started.
That makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. Some of the trolls claim allegiance to that label. Others merely qualify for membership. Even those who don't consider themselves a part of it or decry their disturbing attack patterns may contribute to their success without meaning to do so.
Kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Regardless
of how they
identify. I'm sorry. Go on.
Regardless of how they identify, each is a cancer cell in a larger amorphous hate blob descended, here they go, from Gamergate and Comicsgate.
But I don't see how. Like they got nothing to do with each other.
They just say things. There's no logic.
Oh wait, no, dude, I see the connection. Look at the last 4 letters of each word.
Gate.
There it is.
Ah.
They also accuse us of gatekeeping, so I guess so. Maybe that's all part of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's maybe this is an anti-gate article, and we're reading it wrong.
They don't like gates.
Yeah, they're very anti-gate. Because you know why? Because gates are a part of fences, and fences are a part of borders.
Ooh,
that's deep, man.
That is
very
deep.
Yeah.
See, I can write SJW. I think. I don't know. This looks pretty long-winded, though. I'm just realizing how far down the.
It is a lot, but yeah.
All right, I might just skip down to see if there's anything that jumps out.
Blah blah blah. Kelly Marie Tran. Blah blah blah.
The same old tired lines.
But like Kelly Marie Tran didn't leave because of that. She's even stated that. That's why I don't get why they still keep going back to that.
It doesn't even matter.
Come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Up. I mean. Oh, the other way. I'm sorry.
The other down?
There you go. And there are answers to that question beyond the simplest, which is, oops, you missed it. Okay, there you go. Good old-fashioned racism.
how did I miss that?
Don't get me wrong, that's enough of a reason for someone to devote a few minutes of time and mouse clicks to do their part in tanking the ratings on a show they view as a progressive. What is
Agitprop?
What is that?
Agitprop.
I don't know. But here's my thing. They want to focus all his attention on what they believe is these ratings, tanking ratings intentionally or whatever. But here's my question. If we're just a loud minority, right? And we're review bombing. Okay, fine. Let's just say that's true. How does this explain their lack of viewership? Because you can't review bomb that. You can't stop the masses from watching something if they don't want to watch it. So if we're over here saying we're not going to support it, we're not going to watch it, we hate it, it's stupid. Okay, fine. That means it should mean that if you're producing quality content that we just don't see the good in it, but everyone else does, why isn't the everyone else, the masses of people, all of the other people, why aren't they supporting it? Why aren't they purchasing your products? Why aren't they buying your toys? Why are you having to cancel your shows after one season?
Well, I mean, that's a logical question to ask. So they're just going to completely ignore that.
Well, they're attacking the usual suspects. They want to attack Geeks and Gamers and the Quartering and Kennel, Ryan and everything. But also, along the lines of what you're saying, Jane, is that these people that they're criticizing, you see that their channels are growing. You see them going to these meetups. All of these people are being attracted to the fact that they're telling the truth. These are the people who are actually being turned off by these properties that these people are ruining. They're being turned off by that, and they're tired of being shamed for it, because you got articles and hit pieces like this that will have you believe that it's all racist and misogynist and homophobes. These are the people who have a problem with what they're doing. So
yeah, I mean, there's a bit of transphobia in there as well. You can't forget that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
But they're
when you put all that together, sure.
But they're acting like we're such a threat. And my question is, how is that even possible? They act like we're making it all up. Our criticism is baseless, but they're the one losing money. And at the end of the day, look, if you combine Geeks and Gamers and Mauler and Anomaly and all these other groups, the Quartering, combined, they still don't have the reach of these major corporations. Their stuff is tanking because far more people who've never even heard of anybody in this community still hate their products. Maybe they can articulate it as well, but it's tanking because our opinions are just a small bit, just reflecting, really, the larger, wider community of people who've never heard of any of us.
Rogue, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, I'm here. I don't know how long I'll make it, but I just wanted to say Rogan brings that up. He talks about it in the Gina Carano podcast, how, they rather go find, voices other than the mainstream media because we all know they're bought and paid for.
That's right. It's a lie. It's all. Oh, look at that. Mark runs a great channel with passion and wisdom. So I'm sure he gets a lot of haters too. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, that is very, very, and they're growing too. They're growing. And I don't know. I wear that like a badge of honor. But, the point that I was going to make also is that one of the first things that I said when I first started doing these, videos is I was fueled by the fact that Disney Star Wars turned my son off to Star Wars. You know what I mean? So it's like, in order to dismiss us, they would say, oh, what are you guys going on about? It's just for kids anyway. But I was like, no. I was there when my son got his heart broken because you ruined Star Wars for him. I remember in the middle of the movie, he turned to me and said, Dad, why is Luke acting that way? And it really, that sunk my heart. And he was never into it after that. And I watched his friends do the same thing. That's the reason why the toys didn't sell.
Yep.
What are you going to shame the kids? You're going to tell the kids that they're racist and homophobe and transphobe and all of that? No, they just don't like what they're seeing.
Right.
The
kids don't want it either. That's why they're trying to reach the kids in like kindergarten.
I got a Lego set up in the closet here that we never got to. That's how abrupt it was. We used to get Lego sets and build them on the weekends and stuff like that. Dude, it killed me. Like with The Last Jedi, that was it for him. It was like a piece of his childhood died. So you can't say, that, oh, it's just these toxic white guys and everything, to the exclusion of your general audience that just doesn't like what you're doing.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If they're hoping by adding this sort of stuff and saying it's racist white guys, it's this, that people who agree with the racist white guys but also don't like racist white guys will side with Disney over the white guys. That's they're trying to divide and go, well, if we just keep poking at this enemy and saying this is the enemy, eventually people are just going to go, yeah, you're right.
But it's not working.
Normies have woken up to it.
They're not even getting pity views. Like people will come to their defense on Twitter, but they're not actually going to see their films.
That's right. I was saying the same thing with Solo. Yeah. Everyone's like, hashtag make Solo 2. I'm like, you should have gone out to see Solo 1. Don't you think?
That's the easiest way of doing it. Yeah.
I can't do it.
But they're a victim of their own words. They specifically said, especially with Ms. Marvel, that this is not designed for guys like me or Mark or anything like that. So when we don't watch it, they're like, well, now you're wrong for not watching it. And the worst part about it is, I think out of all the MCU shows, it's probably the best one because it sticks to what it's good at. It's a kids show at heart. It doesn't take itself super serious with it. And that's the sad irony. You've actually got a show that could have been a legitimate hit if you just let the show come out.
But you know what? I'm the kind of viewer that I appreciate Ms. Marvel for that. I have no problem watching it because I see what they're doing, you know, and I appreciate and respect what they're doing. It's actually for who it's supposed to be for. I think they got a solid show. It's kind of like the other He-Man show, not the one done by the idiot Kevin Smith, but the other one that was made that, you know, more for the kids. You know, that is actually a lot more satisfying than He-Man Revelations. You know, and clearly it's for kids, but when I watch it, I'm like, I like this. I like it. I can imagine it if I were a kid, I would probably like this.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, but because they've put all this stuff out saying that, oh, this isn't for you, blah blah blah, like that, and then as Jane was saying, they can't hide behind the numbers. Now their excuse is what? We're stopping people from watching it in other households somehow.
Yeah, right. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like, oh, I think they think that we have a bigger influence, but that doesn't, it shouldn't matter if it's a quality story, right?
Yeah,
if people enjoy a thing, they're not going to care that other people are critical of it. They're still going to support the thing that they love.
But when they keep saying, don't watch it, and then they go, why didn't you watch it? You're like, you told me not to. I listened to you for once.
Yeah, misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist. It's like, what? No, what? How? What did I do? You didn't watch my show. Okay, you told me not to. Yeah, but you're supposed to ignore that.
It all started when Brie Larson said, you know, back in the day, you know, I really don't care what middle-aged white guys have to say. You know, It's like you said that to your audience. That's actually your audience. You know, you're in search of a new audience, but this is your existing audience. So when you say that, predominantly, I should say, because we've all been there the whole time too, but I'm just saying predominantly that is your audience. So when you say that, you just started something right there. You were the one that drew first blood, just like with Rian Johnson. And actually it was J.J. Abrams, I believe, who first said
J.J. was the one that first came out about it, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, oh, you know, you're just going to have a problem with the fact that it's a female lead. What kind of thing is that to say? We all went to go see that movie. You know, like I said, The Force Awakens opened up huge. The Last Jedi opened up huge. And we knew it was a female lead. We knew that Finn was involved. You know, so it wasn't that racist that kept people from going in the first place. How does that work? We only had a problem with it after we saw it and realized then, oh, this is some bullshit. I hate this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then we come out and now we're being, vocal about it. Now, all of a sudden, you guys are racist. You're sexist. You're everything bad under the sun. Okay.
Yeah, we were all that. Why weren't we that after the first movie? Like, see, that's the stupidity.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Jan. Exactly. Like, if that was the
trilogy.
case,
we started hating it after the second one.
Well, I mean, people didn't like the fact that we were sold a bill of goods with the first film because we made it out as if this was Finn's story.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of my friends were like, okay, a stormtrooper is a Jedi, that's cool. And there was all this speculation, maybe he's somehow related to Mace Windu because he's black and everything. And I'm like, this could be a really cool story. But then they changed it. And then when people had an issue with it, then they're sexist. But if people had an issue with Finn being it, then they're racist. They've got contingencies and backs up no matter what sort of criticism you give.
And the thing that got me back then is that, of course, my criticism of it meant that I was, I was immune to the middle-aged white guy thing, so my thing was I had some very strong criticisms because like I said, I got my heart broken watching my son have his heart broken, and I felt like somebody had to answer for this. No one ever answered for that because they went straight to the you guys are racist. So they went right over me, they went right over my son, they went right over everybody who had a legitimate beef with this and went straight to the defense of it's a toxic fandom problem. And it's been that way ever since. They have never addressed the legitimate criticisms of this stuff that they've been giving us. Nope. They've just been playing this defensive thing, for years now. And now here we come now with this, the fandom menace has to be stopped. Okay. Now,
even when the actors came out, they completely ignored what they said.
Yes.
It's like they're telling you their experiences. They're telling you they were tokenized. They're telling you that their characters weren't really given the stories that it sounds like they were promised initially.
That's right.
But
especially with Finn, like everything that he was told is what we were led to believe in the trailer. And he's just like, oh, so I'm just as okay, that's fine. I'm still cool with that. Oh, but by the way, you're only going to be 3 pixels high on the Chinese poster. You're cool with that. Just sit in the corner, sort of thing. Like,
dude, I don't think anybody felt good about what was going on. I mean, Mark Hamill tried to be vocal about it, and they didn't want to hear anything. I think it all began with George Lucas. I mean, of course, he probably shouldn't have sold it, but also he thought that he was going to have more creative input. Like they would at least consult him. But right away, they disregarded him. They disregarded all of his sequel ideas and everything. And after that, it was sold to the white slavers, according to him. So now, I mean, what was Mark Hamill going to do? What was Carrie Fisher going to do? And she had to have been opinionated, but it was
that's
terrible.
what's so amazing about it. He did call them white slavers, and they turn around and call us racist.
Right. But yeah. So that's what we've been dealing with because, from the very beginning, I remember I came out the gate yelling and hollering, and Jeremy was around, at that time, the Star Wars girl. I remember at first it was a very small group of people, who were doing this, but the more people started watching those videos and everything, the more people started saying, it's not just me, it's okay. Like I realized there was something wrong here, and it enabled more people to get more vocal about it. And, in the beginning, they tried to shut it down. Oh, it's just a small vocal minority. It doesn't even matter anyway. But then when it started to grow, oh, we got to do something about this. We got to start calling these people something different. They got to be alt-right. They got to be racist and all this. And it got more and more insulting to the fandom, especially to the fandom like myself, like I said before, because how does that even relate to me?
Right.
It doesn't. So you keep throwing the same names out there. Like if you pull up the article, it just got to the part where they start mentioning geeks and gamers and, the quartering and, the usual people they bring up. But every time they do that, you're just helping those guys because people, they know who to go to.
And they get a boost.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't realize that like Geeks and Gamers were YouTube vloggers. So that was was a cool thing to know.
They don't even know what bloggers are.
Also leveraging their brands as gateways to alt-right ideology via their personal YouTube channels. You see what I'm talking about?
Alt-right.
That's insane.
I mean, this is the thing. If they took 1 second to especially look at Geeks and Gamers, I mean, I'd love for them to say to Uche's face that he's alt-right. Like
they completely ignore, and I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day about this community is incredibly diverse and far more diverse than a lot of their writing rooms. So for them to point the finger at us and talk about how everybody over here is racist and alt-right and white supremacists and all this stuff, it's like, look at yourself in there. Look at your leadership. Look at the people around the table. You don't reflect diversity either at all. And yet you're trying to lecture an incredibly diverse community that's always been diverse about inclusion? Like, who are you? This is what I'm saying. They don't understand. It's almost like they can't even see through their own BS.
Well, I began
that's the
my
point.
video on this topic by reading this quote from Richard Nixon. And the quote that I wrote where he's talking about black people, he says, with blacks, this is Richard Nixon talking, he says, you can usually settle for an incompetent because there are just not enough competent ones. And so you put incompetence in and get along with them because the symbolism is vitally important. You have to show you care. So basically, he is going from the assumption that black people are incompetent anyway. So you go and get the ones that you can use the most, you know, because you can't expect to get anything better. So this person,
didn't realize he was a Democrat.
Well, that's that ideology, especially these days, you know. But this is what I'm saying. So you get authors like this, and the crime of it is that they never do look up people like Jane Theory to consult with her. You know, they don't look up people like Mark with a C, you know, or Abu, anybody who sits on the Dark Council, Lorena. You know, you don't talk to any of us, you know, because we represent a difference of ideology.
Right.
And all these people want are the incompetents, the ones that they can use, you know. So in the midst of all of this diversity and inclusion, they forget about diversity and inclusion of thought and ideas because they feel like you only are as good as we perceive you to be, you know. So you're not to be challenged. You don't challenge yourself. You're not to ask
don't
other
get out of
people.
line. That's the mistake that you have, thinking in your own 2 feet because
God
they can't
forbid.
handle that. Yeah.
God forbid that we become some type of like our reach gets to be more than what it is, you know, where we can actually do challenge people and influence people with our messed up ideology. They don't want to hear from us. They want to keep people believing that they're victims, you know, and that these people, Jeremy and all of these people, oh, they're the big white boogeymen, you know, who's here to victimize you. And it's a problem, but not for the reasons they're saying.
The thing about it is Jeremy probably employs more people of color than Salon does. You know,
and the funny thing is that he has Young Ripper on there. He's got, you know, Eric July on there. Eric July has more subs than everybody. You know what I mean? He's been doing this for longer. But sitting on that panel with Jeremy, they'll call him a token. You know,
that's exactly right. And the thing of it is, they constantly make the joke. Well, you would have been nothing with your 200,000 subs before I came along. You know. Like he has more subs than when they started, and he's still gotten more. He's verified
but these
on
people.
Yeah, but that just shows their racism is that they ignore people like him. He should have been the first name on the list. I mean, like you said, like that dude has far greater reach even beyond this community, and yet they want to completely ignore that he exists because they only want like-minded people. You have to fall in line with them, their views and their perspectives. They don't want to be challenged on any point, and we are a threat to that. We all are. They don't want other white people at the table who have different views. They certainly aren't going to want other people of different colors and backgrounds.
So I listed, you know, the creators out here. Jane, I listed you in the video. I said, listen, you don't have to get in touch with me per se, but what about some of these others? If you want to be credible, then you need to be talking to some of us. You know, if you're not talking to some of us, then you're full of shit. It's just that simple. Them and the Rewriting Ripley. I was going to say something else, but idiots. You know what I mean? You know, it's like if you're not getting, and they have the nerve, the Rewriting Ripley people, they have the nerve to say, we did an extensive study. An extensive study? Really? When you didn't talk to anybody other than the ones that agree with you? What kind of study is that?
Yeah,
it was an extensive internal study, you know. We asked every single person in the office, you know, what they thought, and they all agreed because they have to keep working.
Yeah.
So there you go, 100% proof.
Yeah, they got a narrative, and that's all they're interested in pushing.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, like that's why someone like Ripper is extremely dangerous. He's extremely articulate. He's outspoken. He has a huge reach. He's an entrepreneur. Like he's everything that they fear.
And on top of that, he's married. They hate that.
And he's married. And I love the argument that he says he's like don't tell me that I don't do anything for black women and everything. He said I got into a legal contract with one. You know, this like the way that he worded it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's definitely an interesting way of doing it. He's like, no, I've made a commitment to my country for a black woman, and I'm just like, well, there you go. And then he called someone a crackhead, so then he was racist again. So
They hate him though. And then later in the article, they started talking about the truckers and all this other stuff getting off topic just to further frame their narrative.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to say, do you think this is an old article? Because I said earlier that everything seems about 2 years old.
They're just
That's what I'm saying. Like, where did this come from?
So they mentioned, I like how they got to mention Jeremy. He has a certain amount of things. Then you've got to mention the Freedom Truckers. Then January 6th has to always be in there.
Yeah.
And like I say, blaming the violence on Antifa, Boogeyman, and Black Lives Matter. Well, I mean, they were the ones that were doing it. It was their protest that would, the Summer of Love. It wasn't like it was anyone else. We knew who it was.
Float
they had
conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Blaming the violent. Like I said, we are not supposed to see with our own eyes what's going on out here. We're not supposed to see the Black Lives Matter people buying mansions and shit with all of the money that they're getting from the people that believe in them. We're not supposed to see all of that. Like I said, these people are anti-empowerment for the very people that they're supposed to be representing.
There you go.
Now I get all the memes that people are doing. This is the quality of their writing. The Nazis in Germany after the First World War.
How do we get to that?
Well,
the video is
they didn't appear until the Second World War. That was the point. There wasn't any Nazis in the First World War.
Wait a minute. Now they're saying, the video is titled "The Media is the Enemy of the People," a favorite phrase of the 45th president. Never mind that. Do they think that the media is a friend of the people? Like,
because
once
they're
again,
part of the media.
Common sense. Right. Yeah.
The media is a tool, actually, historically, it's been a tool of government and propaganda.
Yes. Operation Mockingbird, all that good stuff. Come on now. But like I've always said, we're living in an age where ignorance is vital to these people. They need people to be as stupid as possible for them to be able to get away with half the things they're getting away with.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody put a needle in your arm. It doesn't matter, what your individual health is. We know what's best for you. And anyone who questions that is a traitor. And everyone who parrots that is like, oh, art, yes, that's right, sir. Yes. Like, that is scary when you have a population. Like, if you choose to do something for your own health, that's fine, but you have to be educated, but these people, they don't want the education. They just want obey. And in this case, obey and consume.
Yeah, just do it.
Obey with
don't question it. Don't talk about it. Don't have a discussion. Don't have a debate. Just go do it.
The hell is misinformation?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're
not giving people the right information.
That you do with your body, especially when it comes to quote unquote getting that jab. I mean, the sudden rise of essentially adult SIDS, sudden adult death syndrome. Like, it's scary. There was something that we couldn't, but we mentioned it that could have been a side effect. But now this is what we're dealing with also.
You're breaking
Our
up.
conspiracies are becoming
Jane, it's about to be just me and you. What's going on? Grant, you're breaking up, bro.
Oh, is it? Okay, I don't know what's going on with it. Give me a second. Can you talk between you?
Okay, well, let's look at this point too, because they do mention this. Of course, each of these men is sophisticated enough in their approach to prevent running afoul of YouTube community guidelines. Instead of using slurs, they invoke terms like woke and rail against SJWs ruining the Star Wars universe. This is the other thing. They don't understand language and or refuse to simply accept what we're saying. They want to interpret it as something different because they don't have anything substantive. They can't say you're saying racist slurs. They can't say that you're invoking violence. They can't say that you're calling for harassment. So anything you say they disagree with, they make it as if it's synonymous to those things. It's at least it's a stretch of reality and a stretch of the truth. It's unimaginable to me.
So would it be better if they were using slurs? Is that what they're saying?
Well, it would be better for them because they'd have the smoking gun. It would make their jobs a lot easier.
Yeah.
To be able to say, there it is. You think these people haven't gone through everything that these people have ever said, especially Ryan, right? I'm sure they've been like all over his channel, And if the best that you can come up with is he invokes terms like woke and rail against SJWs, I guess he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they not
because if they could have found
Batman
anything.
review? Did they even mention that? Did they even mention his Batman review?
Because clearly this person is stuck in like 2020 somewhere. You know what I mean? Like this article, there's nothing that's really recent. Like this easily could have been written back in 2017. That's how outdated it seems.
The same thing over. This article encompasses their entire argument, and the only thing they can ever say, and the only thing they ever will say, compacted in this one article.
Yeah, it's. I mean, do they get paid per word? I wonder.
Probably.
I would think so. Looking at a couple of these words that she's throwing in there, it's like you were
It
definitely.
is recent. We're talking about Amber Heard.
Exactly. What the hell?
Yeah, it's like they talk about Ming-Na Wen's casting. I mean, like we didn't hate that. We like her as an actor. We didn't like the fact that it was her show when the show's called Boba Fett. Like,
what I find interesting is that they how are you wait? So they say none of them make specific calls for harassment or violence against the targets of their harangues, which when there isn't a woman of color to go after or Amber Heard isn't in the news, tends to be Lucasfilm president and the group's Darth, Kathleen Kennedy. So 2 white women they attack and they're racist?
Yes, that makes sense.
That has nothing to do with her forces female, we want to change it to be more woman friendly and all that stuff. Like her attitude was pretty much the same as Brie Larson's. We no longer want these middle-aged white guys anymore.
Yeah.
Which happens to be the majority of your audience. So you think that everyone was just going to be like, that sounds about right to me. Okay, let's go with that. I'm outdated. It is this thing that I've loved for my entire life. I'm no longer relevant to that. I've been voted out and I'm cool with that. No, I think that's a little bit unrealistic. Of course, there was going to be some pushback.
And as Vertical Horizons pointed out, people like Giancarlo Esposito. Mm-hmm. Nobody said a word. Nobody said anything bad about his performance. We liked him. We liked the Darksaber.
See, they got you there, Jane. You know why?
Why?
Because he's a man. And now they're being sexist. You can't be sexist and racist at the same time when you're dealing with men, but with women you can because it gets ramped up. Yeah, you must have missed out the last meeting.
What they're saying too about Ming-Na Wen is that nobody said anything about her either. In my case, it's because I do find her to be quite hot, but also because she does have the right physicality. She's believable in much the same way as Gina Carano. Gina Carano was great. Mm-hmm. As what's her name again? Cara Dune. You know what I mean? It's like that was probably one of the best original characters they've come up with in a long time.
And this is the other thing too. They talk about their reasoning, and this just goes to show how out of touch they are and how they're not paying attention. They say that it ignores the fact that they have longer careers, and by extension, or the related point is that they have managerial layers basically between them and quote unquote haters. That isn't a logical argument.
No.
The point here is that if they have longer careers, then they're probably better actors.
That's exactly right. And I don't think anyone had any issue with Rosario Dawson in it. I think that was like legitimately a universally loved thing. It wasn't until she was cast that one side had an issue. Yeah.
And you don't hear either one of them going out attacking fans. That helps. And you also, for them to say that there's this managerial layer, what does that have to do with Twitter? I mean, even if there is something between them and the criticism would still exist if it did. Right?
Absolutely.
And they're not able to find it because it doesn't exist. Because people like these actors, they like the characters, but they like the actors too.
So the president using logic, and it's not going to work.
The president of the United States has a whole secret service around him. He couldn't be more protected, and everybody knows he's an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, and he's not. Trump got kicked off of Twitter. He got kicked off of Twitter. Okay, so where was all this stuff that they're talking about here? He wasn't protected. His free speech wasn't protected. So what are they saying? None of it makes any sense, man.
And I will point out one more thing that you said about finding Ming-Na attractive. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Because it does matter if female characters are are portrayed in a very feminine way, it does make them more appealing. Just like more masculine male characters are more appealing. Like they fit their roles better because they're actually playing up the attributes that they are. So that has an effect on all of this too. I mean, there's so many different components, but they want to reduce it to this. It's so simplistic and idiotic.
I mean, they downplay femininity. You know, in Ray's case, Daisy Ridley is an attractive young woman. You know, there's no reason why she should have been devoid of any type of sex appeal whatsoever. The same thing with Kelly Marie Tran. They went out of their way. Like, what the hell was up with that haircut? There's no man on the planet who's going to like that. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. You know, and they went out of their way to do that because they don't like the male gaze. They can't be a male gaze. And then they get mad because these middle-aged men that, you know, this is what we're attracted to. If we say there's nothing to like about this character, now you're going to get mad about it?
Well, I mean, it's literally become a term when they roast Tico a character. They take a good-looking woman and they deliberately uglify her to enhance some other aspect of her, which has nothing to do with anything. Hey, Culture.
Hey, what a legacy Star Wars gave us, right? The rose Ticoing of characters. Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy.
Once again, Rian Johnson said he put that character in there specifically because he knew that character did not belong in that story.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And also, when Kylo Ren says to Rey, you have no place in this story, like they knew what they were doing. They understood what they were doing, and then they blame us for understanding what they were doing. You know, when we call this stuff out as lifelong fans, that means something. Like I said, they pride themselves, they used to pride themselves on world building. So when we as the fans step into that world, now you tell us canon doesn't matter. The world doesn't matter. Let it go. Kill the past if you have to. Bullshit. This is the reason why we push back.
Exactly.
Because once you change everything, guess what? It's no longer what you love. And we're just supposed to be happy with that.
But that's the point. They want to take the fan base that exists, turn it into something else and say, look what we've built.
Right. So you have two female characters kissing in the background. That's your legacy. Great.
Well, right. And throw some tokens in there.
Yeah, indeed, Jane. And that's kind of frustrating. I mean, for all of us, right? You took our good stuff and you threw this, crap that you couldn't sell in any other way in our good stuff. And now you've ruined our good stuff with your bad stuff or your uninteresting stuff or your, political junk. It's easy to reject stuff now. I would argue, and I've obviously am doing a video on this right now, but I would argue that the reason that Lightyear failed was because nobody trusts Disney anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
also very predictable
because everyone's a bunch of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Well, the dinosaurs
Chris Evans tell it.
Yeah.
But it was a drastic departure from the property that we have loved for generations. And I made that point, in my video too, is that the Toy Story franchise essentially is about the innocence of youth, the innocence of childhood. So when you go out of your way to transform that property into your little sounding board, for all of the agendas that you're betraying what it's supposed to be about. Why should your kids want to sit there and watch same-sex kissing and all of that stuff? Most kids don't even want to see heterosexual kissing. No. They cover their eyes. Ew. Yeah. They don't want to see it. But we're living in an age now where not only do we do that, but we put drag queens in front of them, spread eagle, and we don't think that we're hurting these kids.
Well, see, we never did go out of our way ever until recently to hypersexualize youth. In fact, right now it seems like certain people are dead set on destroying the innocence of youth. You realize that it was you were lectured, on the various ways that you were supposed to be maintaining your innocence. You didn't realize that at the time that's what that was. You to remove the troubles of man from. And I'm not saying that in a sexist way. I'm saying that's just the way it's described. It's phraseology. But we went out of our way to remove the troubles of man, the weight of adulthood from kids for as long as we possibly could. And now we weigh them down with it and wonder why they're constantly dealing with, mental illness or, depression or any other thing that now kids are being diagnosed with, which I also think is driven by a pharmaceutical industry. But I don't know necessarily that we need to get into that a lot. But it's just we've introduced children stress. Do you realize as a kid, my stress was, am I going to have time to play Star Wars today?
Right.
Are you guys just right for 2 minutes?
Oh yeah, we're all good, bro. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. No, that is so true. It's just unnatural. The natural tendency of parents is that you want to shield your children, for as long as you can, because that it's like I said before, it's a magical time when you can be a child. Sometimes my son tells me, Dad, I can't wait to get a job so I can make money. I'm like, kid, take your time. Take your time. Believe me, there'll be plenty of time to make money, and then you'll have bills to pay with that money. It is not going to be fun anymore, son. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, please let me buy the things that you need. I mean, he gets everything he wants. I don't get this. You know what I mean? This thing. But this is what you want. You want to shield the children from all of that for as long as you can. But what Hollywood and showbiz is telling you is that tell them now. Tell them everything. Give them everything. Let them see everything. And not only that, but they got to be happy with the things that we're showing them. It's like even if the kid is uncomfortable seeing these themes, parents are no longer able to say, listen, I want to ease them into this. I want to be able to make the decision when they're ready for this. No, Hollywood is saying they're ready for it right now. Go into their schools, give them this right now.
That's the problem, though. Parents want to actually exercise control over their own children. And if you're a traditional parent, then your ideologies, your morals, your values are inconsistent with that of Hollywood and the far left. So they want to get between you and your kids, and they want to raise them in their own way and reshaping society.
Yeah, and I like what Sam McKay is saying here. He says these people don't believe in art for its own sake anymore. They see it as instrumental, something to be used to their own ends. Exactly. That's another thing. What happened to arts? Artistic expression, metaphor, the usage of these things. Everything is so heavy-handed now. Nothing is artistic anymore.
Well, it's you definitely can't find that at the Cal Arts Institute. But hey, we've gone away from the advancement of imagination, creativity, all of these pursuits. Not us personally, but intelligentsia that are in influential positions in education, specifically colleges, etc., even in high schools now. We've abandoned basic necessity skills, like I'm sure Mark, you may or may not have been exposed to, but I know I was metal shop, wood shop, auto shop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got those in high school. I had home economics. And even if you're a boy, you had to do you one semester of home ec, so you could cook for yourself if you had to. You knew how to do your laundry without turning everything pink. That kind of thing. You
I didn't learn that one.
Well, it's a rough lesson. That pink socks, you're going to be like, no, thank you. But anyway, no. But it was growing up, we were exposed to all these life skills. I had financial education classes. I had one semester of a math class that taught you those necessary elements that would make you successful later in life. Balancing your checkbook. Well, I don't have a checkbook anymore. Yeah, but you should still know where your finances sit and lie at any moment in time. You should be keeping track, because I guarantee you the bank's not going to make an error in your favor, unlike what Monopoly tries to teach you. So it's just it's one of those things, and I
today they're more concerned with your understanding the different genders and identities and pronouns.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that based on biology, I don't have any interest in the conflation of gender and sex, and that's what's been done for 30 years or more. And I'm not sure if it's the federal government's fault in this country or if it is the educational institution's fault for that conflation, but I know that it caused all kinds of problems.
And people just got to speak up, man. That's the thing. Well, I've taken a whole different attitude, as far as my channel is concerned. Someone pointed that out too. But stop apologizing. Stop apologizing, because in my mind, these people are insane. All right. And you can't apologize to insane people. You just have to protect yourself from them. You know, these kids, like culture, like you were saying, like never before have you seen this level of emotional anguish and problems in our children. You know, the rates of self-harm all over the place. You know, and then you have to look around to see, what are we giving them? You know, we got to stop this, man.
Well, and it's interesting because, again, now, and I can't speak as a parent, which is unfortunate. Despite all of my best efforts for years and years and years to procreate, I was not able to. You know, believe me, there was a lot of time involved in trying to make that happen, and that was perfectly fine.
A lot of fun too, I'm sure.
Well, absolutely. But I mean, one of the goals, one of the goals in life is to have children, to raise them in a way that they will, reflect not only what you have to offer, but all of the talents and skills that they were born with. And believe me, raising a little individual looks like it's one of the most satisfying things in the world. So I've been relegated to, and I, out of no complaints, being as good an uncle as I can be to my nieces and nephews, right? And so it certainly isn't a waste of time. But as a non-parent, I can't speak to the parenting aspects of things. I can only bemoan what I witness in society because of a shift in how children are parented. And and Jane was just talking about it. I mean, the state really right now, if we're really going to talk about the liberal world order, which I don't think was a slip, folks, I think they're at a point now where they think they have enough institutional power that they can say dumb stuff like that and get away with it. But if we're really at that point, they are not hiding the fact that they want to take kids away from parents and raise them in their own way. Hell, they want to take away as many of your rights as they can possibly get away with.
And they're making a lot of leeway with that too.
And we're seeing it right now in the story that's shared at the moment. And unless you guys have other things you want to work into this, I want to dive into. I just want
to throw out there real quick, because I see the Time Prophet says something interesting. He said, "I never wanted children." Well, you know something? It took me a while, and I talked about this last week. It took me a while, for us to have my one son. And sometimes, seeing some of the things that he has to go through in the world is here. Sometimes I don't know if it's. Sometimes I wrestle with the guilt that I actually have him inheriting this mess. Like I'm like painfully aware that any second can take me away from him, because that's just how sudden life is, you know? So every day I'm purposeful with him. I want him to know what this world is. I don't want to bring him down. We do a lot of fun stuff. I love to hear him laughing and stuff like that. And like I said, I do believe in preserving his childhood and stuff. But sometimes I wonder, did I do the right thing in even setting him up in this world? I mean, he's got a right to live, and you can't spare them everything.
No.
But, I worry about these kids sometimes. It's like, we're really failing them, man. We really, really are. We're not speaking up. Even if you're not a parent, we're part of this. We're part of this society. We have a responsibility to these little ones.
Forgive me for saying this if it offends you, but you've failed in no ways, my friend. You've been out there speaking your mind. You've been a leader in a lot of different ways. So I don't think you're failing anyone, my friend. I'm
much
sorry
love for that. Thank you, brother.
I just feel that way. Yeah.
And I would note this too. I said this, I think, on my stream this morning. People are getting fed up, and I think that there are a lot of people who have voices that are expressing how they feel on their various platforms and drawing attention to all of this stuff. I have friends who just said, you know what? I'm out, and are leaving.
Yeah.
Leaving this country, relocating elsewhere, and living their best life without being just constantly bombarded with this kind of foolishness. It really is. Once you get out of the country, you realize how specific this is to particularly America and the parts of the West that are influenced by it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, Jane. And I really didn't mean to talk over you, but as you may know, because you're also watching various films from around the globe, I've been watching Indian cinema, and it's led me into Indian culture, and I'm learning stuff daily now. And everybody needs to come to the realization that India is the next big superpower. It's not China. China is actually they're starting to dwindle. And I mean, this is, not just geopolitically, but economically. China is the next big powerhouse in this world that we live in. And if you relocate to China now, you have maybe opportunities, that you wouldn't be afforded here in this country in the next 30 years. Because by 2050, they could be the greatest economic engine on the globe.
Culture, that might be true, but they don't even want to see my black ass on a movie poster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe not for Mark.
So it might not be the best time for me to relocate.
The thing is, I think a lot of that's propaganda because the people who actually are living there love it. Yeah. Like the people I know who live in China who are black and live in Japan, absolutely love it there. It's not that it's perfect. Obviously, they have their issues, but by comparison, they're not coming back.
So I definitely respect what you're saying about India, though, because that movie, I know it's just a movie, but when I saw RRR, I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
I did. I reviewed it.
That thing was awesome, bro. It was awesome. When I got finished watching that movie, I was looking for Indian people like, hi.
You did great stuff. You know that it's insane because it led me down that rabbit hole of these amazing films. I mean, it's incredible. And then I'm going like, holy crap, it's the 80s again in India. Why am I not in India right now?
And the best thing is they produce more movies than anywhere, like 16 plus movies a year.
Yeah.
Bollywood producers.
Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, because it's all different. I mean, they're all different language films. But I was informed. I'm learning so much because I did my review, and I don't know, Mark, if you did a review on RRR or not, and I just didn't see it. But did you?
No, I didn't. I discussed it with Paulie.
You should.
And I should. It's just that I would be going nuts. I mean, you guys know how passionate I can get, with the things I hate.
That would be
the
great.
things that I love. Like I would be going crazy. People would be telling me, dude, calm down. But I really love that movie.
I'm telling you right now, Mark, if you wanted to do that and if you wanted to invite me to hang out with you while you do that to kind of balance the enthusiasm that I know that you have, I would love to do a review with you because I'm telling you, they are appreciating our appreciation of what they're doing in just an incredible way. I know Jane knows that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what's so funny is that you have these other countries that are like, "Hey, Americans, come on over here."
Yeah,
it's not as crazy from at least social perspective.
Yeah, I mean they may have a little bit tighter laws here and there on certain things, and I mean that's going to vary country to country. But at least when you're there, you live under the law. The law's being enforced.
And that's the thing. Like some people in the chat are like they're never leaving, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying you have. It's just that some people are just really that far fed up.
Yeah,
Soul Assassin. I've been really trying to get, especially Fatal. I really want Fatal to see this movie. He keeps on saying, I'll see it. No, you need to see it now, bro. If you're out there, if you watch this on the replay, watch it. Stop what you're doing. It's on Netflix. Watch it while you still can. Dude. Hopefully they won't take it down.
And honestly, if they don't want to do it, I will do it with you, Mark. I think I have a lot of great things to say about RRR. I think Jane would jump in there. A lot of us would.
I haven't seen it yet.
What?
Oh, Jane, you
I
gotta
know.
watch it. Yeah. That's your homework assignment.
Please,
Jane.
These typical white racist males not seeing these bloody movies we're talking about.
I know, right?
But see, that's the thing. They try to act like somehow we're.
You, buddy. Just got to get through these couple super chats and then we'll get back.
Bro. Sorry.
Yeah. So we have Darius Mã<silence>nchausen with $1.49 bag of popcorn in a container.
Yeah.
Darius is one awesome lad, and hurry up and get your computer sorted so we can stream together.
Indeed.
And 20 from Mad Cheesemo. He said, good news, we defeated the bear and now we can start the ceremony. Also, I have food on the way. And the Jeff was like, ugh, we should all eat together. I love you. Ugh, she's the worst.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Oh, we got Nina Infinity in the house.
Hey, Nina.
What up, Nina?
She's so awesome.
I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't gotten to it. I have a long list of stuff I have to watch.
I'm just saying, you know what? This jumps to the top of your list, and then your list is going to change. I'm not kidding.
Just a bunch of random any three letters in the alphabet, throw it together, and then search Indian movie. You're bound to find one.
I don't know if it's quite like that, but
I love Indian movies.
This one is Rise, Revolt, Roar. I think that's what the 3 R's stand for. It ain't reading, writing, arithmetic. This thing is crazy, man. I love it. It's got the most insane dance routines you'll ever see in your life.
Ooh,
Oh, the music is great. It feeds into the film, and there is a little of that, Bollywood feel for the American audience, but set that aside.
Are they wearing traditional attire?
They are
only at points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's a period piece, right? This film is set in 1920.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and it's set against a historical background, despite the fact that the two characters theoretically never interacted. So it's a historical fantasy. It would probably be the best way to describe it. And I don't know, Mark, do you agree? Do you think that's right?
I would agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just it's weird in this strange, uplifting. Okay, so like take Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and Lawrence of Arabia, and I'm trying to think of another like crazy, like in The Mummy. Well, except not really The Mummy, but like
actually,
that kind of
feel. The action of The Mummy. I see what you mean.
Okay, I like all 3 of those. Great.
Oh, it's bonkers. It's 3 hours of bonkers. It's 3 hours and 5 minutes long, and you won't even know.
I'm sold. I'm gonna watch it.
You won't
the
even
next
know.
movie that Culture's reviewing is nearly 6 hours.
Yeah. So I'm wrapping up KGF chapter 2. That's this Thursday. I'm actually doing a review on all of them now because they're why not?
How many views did you get for your first review?
Over 22,000.
And that's your highest. That's your highest on the channel by how many?
That's my highest viewed video ever on my channel.
That's very telling. That's very telling.
Yeah. And in KGF chapter 1, bonkers. KGF chapter 2, extra bonkers. And not only that, despite the way chapter 2 ends, and no spoilers here, they announced 7 days ago now, KGF chapter 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm flipping stoked. You guys don't even know. And
so it'll probably be out by the end of the year.
It might be. It could be. Who knows? And that's the other cool thing. This is the other cool thing. KGF chapter 2, they spent $13 million American equivalent, right? In what their currency is. It was only $13 million to make this film, right? And it looks like a $200 million film.
Wow.
It's same thing with RRR. RRR, I think, cost 13 or something. Anyway,
I think it's 18.
18. Excuse me. Yeah. They actually spent on RRR. They spent 30 days filming that one scene that will make you believe you're watching Indiana Jones.
Wow.
It's right at the beginning. They spent 30 days on one scene with 20,000 extras.
That's commitment.
It is.
When you consider how like insane that opening scene was, but yet somehow they made it believable. Like, what the hell? There's no way. But you're like, okay. I mean, really, there's a lot to learn from this.
Culture is a Tollywood shill. I am now. Dude, I'm telling you.
But you know what? They charge us, in the fandom with being anti diversity and inclusion and stuff. But when you see something like this, you see the appreciation of it. Yeah. Also, what is it? I think it's is it South Korean? Like their zombie flicks.
Incredible.
Yeah, horror movies.
I was gonna say
Squid Game.
Yeah. Like Squid Game. All of Us Are Dead. The Silent Sea.
Yeah.
All these are phenomenal. And the fact of the matter is that
insane.
Oh, dude,
insane.
I mean that alone was the film that went, you know what, maybe I can watch some more South Korean sort of stuff. And then you see the main guy, I can't think of the actor's name now. He appears in everything. But even the individual storytelling writing elements, you don't have to be those sort of characters. I can relate to every single character that was on that train at some point.
But here's the thing, they'll say that the Asians are honorary white people, so
well they are now, yeah. They're white. Was it white adjacent? White. That's such a weird thing.
But you relate to them, no matter what people consider them to be. It's like like you said, all of those characters you can relate to. And I'm so sorry that my camera seems to be blurring up here. I don't know if it's because I'm so excited now. I'm just breathing heavy. It's like fogging up the camera.
You fogged up the camera, Mark. Stop being excited.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I just assume that you are naturally blurry.
Wow. Wow, he's a living witness protection. Is that what you're
The
saying?
microphone is clear though.
So
maybe she's not focused.
he doubles
It's
as Loch
focused in the
Ness
wrong
on the
place.
weekends. That's why he's
Hello,
out of focus.
Yeah.
It's a nice mic.
Speaking of out of focus, Pinochet's helicopter tours.
I will
like
watch
that.
it.
Yeah. I've been trying to get CC to watch Attack on Titan. He
so
said he's never
good.
going to watch it.
I will.
That's a weird
I
ass.
will watch it. I promise you. Pinochet. I know your real name. Am I allowed to say your name? I don't. Anyway. But
I preferred it when he was a
Roof Korean. Yeah, when he was Roof Korean, the base.
I have to get back to Attack on Titan. I started watching it. It's very interesting. A bunch of really big naked people eating small people.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, but it's interesting.
I like the world building. Like that's what I love about those kinds of stories is how developed they are in terms of their actual history and lore. It's so deep and it just gets broader the further along you go. Like it gets more complex. Wow. I love it.
I just got sidetracked by Stranger Things, but I'm gonna get back to it. Amazing, by the way, Stranger Things.
Yes,
absolutely.
All right, so culture. End of October, beginning of November. That weekend is the release of KGF Chapter 3.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Can you? Okay, so let me put it this way: this film was just announced less than a week ago that they were doing it, right? So maybe they'd already been producing it. I don't know, but they just announced it. So if we get Chapter 3 in how many months is that, Grant? That's not that long.
Yeah, 3.5 months. So
they're going to film, make this amazing movie, right? And edit it and score it and put it out. If it's the same as the first two movies, I will lose my mind. God.
Also, the same director.
Can't wait to watch it.
The same director has another 4 films coming out next year.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Do they sleep?
I know. They're like
they have a lot of manpower.
They're
like
what
the difference is they have passion.
Yeah.
Which is something that we're severely lacking over here with our filmmaking. You can feel their passion. I love that at the ending of RRR, they're showing like historical figures, at the end with the dance routine. Yeah. I thought that was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw because the tradition is there, the love is there, and the passion, and you can't fake that stuff.
Yeah, I mean the historical figures that it's based on. You're right, Mark. That was so incredible, right? And to just the exploration of culture in their films is amazing to me. I mean, we used to have that, right? We used to have cultural exploration in our cinema. You
can't do it now because if you do too much of it, you're appropriating. If you don't do enough of it, then you're racist.
Yeah,
we're too busy tearing down statues.
And a lot of times you don't really want Hollywood to even attempt it because I swear every time anything is set in Louisiana, I immediately cringe. Because I know it's just going to be stupid as possible.
That's kind of a shame, right? One of my favorite comedies was made in Louisiana about Louisiana. It was called Undercover Blues.
Yeah,
it was Quaid and Turner, right? And it was brilliant. It was so funny, and I thought they did a pretty good job of conveying the cool of Louisiana, specifically New Orleans. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, you just don't see that so much anymore. Now everything is a caricature or it's weaponized to force some sort of message in there.
Yeah, we're just too busy apologizing. Now, I understand that, America has come through a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of shameful things that have happened racially, religiously, just about everything you can name, gender and all that. But you can't always be ashamed of your history because after all, if you came through it, if you got past it, if you ended slavery, if women got the right to vote, if children got labor laws and things like that, it's something to be proud of that we were able to overcome that, but when you get to the point where you're so extreme that let's say you ban the Dukes of Hazzard, for example, which was a favorite of mine, love the Dukes of Hazzard.
Black people love that show.
I love that show.
Yeah. You know, Roscoe, cute, you know what I mean? Like Daisy Dukes. It's like that was a staple in the black community. And I loved it.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
The whole flag.
But,
I thought that was a Dukes of Hazzard flag. Like over here when we saw the flag, that's what I associated that with because that's all we knew it from.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You know, I hear John Schneider, who played Bo Duke, I believe, you know, he was talking about it, how it wasn't fair, you know, that their show has been banned. It was a good, entertaining show.
Yep.
You know, but like I said, this is what happens when you take things too far, where you're just constantly apologizing for things that nobody asked for an apology for. You know what I mean? You just keep going forward. You keep making strides and you stop preaching to people. You entertain people. You challenge people like Star Trek used to do. You know, they gave you an optimistic view of the future, something to shoot for. But what does Trek look like today? It's pessimistic.
Yeah. From utopia to dystopia in one generation of creator.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tragic, man.
It's bonkers. But you know what? You're right. We have to stop apologizing. We actually have a story that basically is telling us that. We have this, which I tried to get to before. Jordan Peterson would rather die than delete a tweet about Elliot Page that got him suspended. I think this came to us via Jane. Didn't you shoot this out in the world, love?
Yeah, because I saw it yesterday, sort of as it fell down, as it was happening. And the fact, I mean, this is a guy, and I talked about it this morning, a lot of people, you know, like him or hate him or whatever, but he's always been consistent about the realities of gender and sexuality and femininity and masculinity and their scientific origin, but also their necessity as a part of human existence and survival and throughout time and how they affect culture and all of these things. So this is not somebody who is arbitrary in his criticism of how gender and womanhood, for example, are represented today. This is someone who's very thoughtful in his views, and what he had to say reflected that. But they turned it around,
of course,
and basically took away, suspended his Twitter account, saying that he violated their rules against hate.
Yeah, and he actually made a video that you showed, I believe, on your program this morning. Am I right?
That's correct. He responded to it by telling people, breaking down the statement from Twitter about what provisions or whatever they accused him of violating. And he went line by line explaining how what he had to say didn't do that and what they're asking of people in terms of what they want to control in terms of how we speak and how we view men and women and these transitions that are happening, how it doesn't even make sense. It's not consistent. And there's no way he could have made his statement any other way to convey his thought, and that he should be able to freely have these thoughts and express them without these sorts of penalties.
Yeah, but Jane, you're forgetting one thing. Twitter is once again a private company. They can do what they want.
They can, and they do, and that's why it's so important that we have other platforms to speak from, because at the end of the day, it is a corporation, and they are going to make their rules for how we handle ourselves on their platform, which we agree to when we get on there. But we have to have alternatives. We have to have other options and other places where we can have these discussions.
Yeah,
because it is disturbing. You know, it is disturbing, even though they are a private company. It's disturbing that, you know, you would realize that you are not free to have your own thoughts about certain things before somebody takes that from you. That is alarming. So it is very important, like Jane was saying, to have alternatives.
Well, and at the same time, I'm with Clarence Thomas and a few others, and I say that we make these private companies also utilities. Therefore, they can be held to different standards and will have to live within a different set of laws. I mean, we already do that.
Just give them a different tax bracket. Give them a big tax break, and they'll jump at the opportunity.
I don't think
I disagree with Ian. I don't think they should have ever had the protections that they have in terms of how they're identified. But I also don't think that any corporation that creates these kinds of platforms should be held responsible for what individuals say on those platforms. Individuals should each be responsible for what they say. So I never agree with this idea of, oh, we're going to punish the corporations by holding them responsible for what other people do. To me, that's still a bad solution.
Well, I again, you know, changing how they're governed could also solve some of these issues, but in my opinion, but again, it's just my Feeble opinion. Well, let's get into this because Jane did a great live stream on it, and again featured the video. So if you have a chance, Jane, is that still up and live for people to watch?
It is, yeah. It's up and live, and I also put the link in my stream.
Oh, sweet.
Description.
So I should say real quick too, I am very grateful to you, Jane, because I was watching or I was listening to you while I was actually out on a walking trail. And that's saying a lot because it takes a lot for me to drag myself back into that. I used to walk all the time. Well, I kind of walk for a living, but that's a whole other thing. But just on my free time, so I was out there, it's all blazing hot and stuff. But I had your soothing voice in my head listening. And it really helped me to get through that.
You helped me film a video today, Jane, just so you know. So yeah, many of us are guilty of listening to you while we're doing other things.
You got a lot of live viewers there too, Jane. I think you're starting to blow up for sure.
She is blowing up, and she deserves it. She does.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, conservative Canadian author and psychologist Jordan Peterson, who was temporarily suspended from Twitter for his tweet about the Umbrella Academy star Elliot Page, said in a nearly 15-minute video posted to YouTube on Friday that he refuses to apologize, even if that means the suspension becomes a lifetime ban. His June 22nd tweet about Page, who announced he was a transgender man in December 2020, was a reaction to the premiere of the Netflix show's third season premiere. In the series, Page's character is also transitioned from female to male. Reacting to a comment from Page during an appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers that he is proud to introduce a trans character on the series, Peterson tweeted, "Remember when pride was a sin? ? And Ellen Page just had her breast removed by a criminal physician, deliberately dead-naming and misgendering the actor, which, by the way, are not any codified crime in the United States."
Right. Exactly.
Right back, guys. The kid just got in. I'll be right back.
No worries.
But apparently, it can be at least at the federal level in Canada.
Right. Yeah. Well, Canada's goofballs. I mean, and again, look who's leading them right now. So sorry, guys. I know we have Canadians in the audience. I love all of you individually. You got some crazy leaders right now, just like we do.
You're only saying that because he's black. All his faces.
Anyway, the tweet was flagged for hateful conduct, with the suspension noting it went against the platform's policy. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, caste, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. By the way,
expressing your opinion now is harassment.
Well, apparently you're promoting these things, or he didn't promote violence. He didn't threaten anybody. He didn't harass anyone.
No.
Right? He made a statement of scientific fact.
Yes.
By the way,
that's harassment now.
Trust the science, TM, not trust the actual science for real.
Right.
We'll keep going. This pissed me off, by the way. I was so mad. And then, of course, having you do the video this morning. This man's genius. Anyway, he says, "I've essentially been banned from Twitter," he said in the video. "I say banned, but technically I've been suspended. But the suspension will not be lifted until I delete the hateful tweet, quote unquote, in question. And I would rather die than do that." He went on to dismiss the fuss over his tweet. Let me continue reading.
He did.
Peterson's daughter, Michaela, shared a screen cap of the suspension notice on Twitter, writing, "Wow, Jordan Peterson just got a Twitter strike. No more Twitter until he deletes the tweet. Definitely not a free speech platform at the moment, Elon Musk."
Mm-hmm.
Peterson, who was just hired by conservative podcast Daily Wire, frequently makes headlines for his
and I'm sure that has nothing to do with it as well.
I don't know that he's anti-trans. I mean,
he's not. He's not anti-trans at all, but he is pro-science and pro-reality.
Yeah, and so am I. And you know what? Clean your room. In January, he told Joe Rogan that being transgender is a result of a contagion and is similar to, I'm going to say it, satanic ritual abuse. I'm allowed to say free speech things on Scott's channel now. The 60-year-old who is a professor at the University of Toronto.
Let's pause there, though.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
What he's describing there is the social aspect of what's happening.
Right.
You know, it may be very well possible, and he's mentioned this, that there are some people who are genuinely transgender. But the wave of it, like what you're seeing right now, especially among young people and what's being promoted among children, is altogether different. Absolutely. And there's absolutely no scientific basis for what's happening on the whole.
Yeah.
Why it's all over our, comics and pop culture. That's not natural.
And that they're transitioning children, like prepubescent children.
Which, again, I mean, if people think much like goth, goth was a phase. I mean, I know lots of people have been saying this. I'm terrified to think that somebody will wake up at the age of 25 and go, the F did I do when I was 14, 13, 12? Why did I do this? Well, because I was encouraged to by the people around me, a teacher, a social worker, a quote unquote mental health professional. Right. Yeah. What kind of damage and what kind of liability should those people have that put these young persons in these positions? I think they should have ultimate responsibility.
Well, they are starting to get sued, so we will soon see.
Yeah.
Well, look at that maniac in the the Department of Health, Rachel Levine or whatever. The one that just looks like a mess. And
penguin. You could say it, the penguin.
yeah, and that's being kind. But that
nice.
thing is saying that the majority of pediatricians out here are in favor of reassignment surgery. Now, what you're talking about, culture, that regret that can happen, it most likely will happen. Yeah. When children get to be older and they look back and say, what was done to me? What did I do? Well, you said that you wanted to be, but I was a child.
Right.
Why would you listen to me when I was a child? Why would you cut off my,
There are people in the UK that are actually suing the government based on the fact that, like, I clearly had a mental disease, and you allow this to happen.
Yeah, and Joanne just brings it up in the chat. There's one suing the NHS for removing her breasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. And this is why I said before, don't worry about offending insane people. Stop apologizing. Because somebody has to speak up for the people who can't defend themselves.
Well, Mark, I'm telling you right now, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours disagrees with you. Rachel L. is hot.
Speaking of insane.
He's got some super chats. All right, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. My favorite movie filmed in Louisiana was JFK.
It was excellent.
I love that movie too, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the ending coming a mile away, though. So
Have you noticed that Kevin Costner doesn't miss very often?
Postman?
He doesn't.
Well, no, the only thing I would accept as an answer would have been Waterworld, but
I like Waterworld.
Me too.
Waterworld was phenomenal.
Yes, you're right, Tom. We need you. Get in here. Where are you?
So for $2, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. Grow up with Dukes of Hazzard plus 1993 Daisy Dukes song.
Daisy Dukes.
Daisy Dukes on. I want you.
Oh.
Yes.
And finally, for another $2, theoretically, Elon just reversed this at some point. Assuming about the.
He could.
Yeah, he could.
Does he own it yet?
Not yet.
October is the projected date. Sometime in October.
Okay.
What for? What?
For taking over in total Twitter.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I see. By the way, just a little side thing. I see Forbidden Ruin says, speaking of the Orville, I told you so. It would go woke before it finished. Yeah, heart hurts.
Yes.
My heart hurts over that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen the most recent one.
So far, I'm not going to say that it's a deal breaker for me yet, but it's definitely, it's undeniable. It's on that track. Yeah. Yep.
That is a shame to hear.
Look at those girls.
I got
that in my head. Dang it. Look at those girls.
What, the Daisy Duke song?
Yeah. Sorry, there was some great music back then. Holy cow. What are we listening to now?
Good music, good entertainment all around, really.
What are we listening to now?
Garbage.
We're listening to Lizzo. That's what we're listening to.
Oh
I'm
my
not.
God, stop.
Somebody is.
Stop.
I haven't heard a song from her yet, honestly.
Oh, good. Me either. I
didn't realize that she was a singer. I thought she was just a model.
Well, she's somebody taking a private plane lecturing you about global bologna sausage. Anyway,
I just want to say just real quick, and then we got to get back to this. I know, but that whole Lizzo thing, I just want to point out as many times as I can that the number one killer of Black women in America is heart disease, obesity, diabetes. All right. So when you have someone as high profile as Lizzo doing this, you know, with this image, trying to act like you just accept it and there's nothing wrong with that, you treat that person as a traitor to the very people that they say they're trying to represent. Because if you know that these women are dying, not only that, but most of them don't even know the facts of what they're at risk of. You know, they're not aware, once again, not educated, you know, ignorant to the facts. So when you have someone here who is of influence, who are leading people on the cover of every magazine and everything, that's a problem. That is a problem. I just want to put that out there.
I think the problem, though, is that you have, at least when it comes to obesity, you have, I think it's a more complex situation, too, because it is the majority of Americans who are overweight at this point. And it is something that I wonder to what extent is tied to the food.
Well, it is tied to the food. It's tied to the hormones in the food. It's tied to the way we grow our food. It's tied. Look, you are going to be hard pressed to find a seed that is not GMO.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it goes into this whole thing about how a society is being reshaped. It's the food, the water, all these things that we consume are contaminated.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the contamination of entertainment as well in terms of our thoughts and the messages that are projected to children. It's an all-encompassing attack, really.
Indeed.
On our
yeah,
culture.
and it's not just tied to sugar, Joe and on. It's tied to fake sugar,
right?
Like high fructose corn syrup and all of these other substitutes that we've been poisoning ourselves with for a very long time.
Because cane
This is
sugar is
true.
delicious.
The only reason why I focused that video and stuff on Black women is just because a lot of Black women have a harder time getting through pregnancy successfully.
Wow.
You know, I almost lost my sister, who I love just about more than anything in the whole world, a few years ago when she had a nephew. You know, it was very, very scary. You guys know I lost my brother a while back. It's just me and my sister, and we're very close. You know, and she bike rides. You know, she does everything. You know, just to stay in shape and everything. You know, but this hope opened up a whole other conversation in our family about why that is. You know, why we are so much at risk. We don't have a lot of advocates, you know, for Black women health. So I feel very strongly when I see people like Lizzo, you know, doing things like this. It's not just to single her out, but just because she is on the cover of every magazine telling people that it's okay to be this way. And look, you know, okay, it's okay to be that way. You know, it's like I'm overweight too. You don't see my fat ass on a bunch of magazines talking about, aren't I beautiful? You know what I mean?
But you know
no.
what? You see a lot of, there
You are
is
to
a
me, Mark.
growing movement within the Black female community, that at least the group that I, you know, sort of follow and stuff on TikTok and YouTube and stuff, who are pushing so hard against it. Like, just like I push against these sort of masculine portrayals of women and Black women in particular, you're seeing that across the community. There is a growing trend of promoting health, quality of life, less sort of in the streets advocacy and all this sort of crap, and more so about education and travel, living a good life, getting in the gym, finding your spirituality and things like that. So I think you're starting to see a turn, but you're right. It's when it comes to the mainstream, they still have their image they want to promote. So people who are going against that grain are perceived as a threat, and they never want to reflect that in the media. That's why you'll never really see it. To this day, I don't think I have like dark-skinned Black women portrayed as the sort of beautiful princess-like love interest. You don't see that. They're always the more masculine, big, bald, you know, type character.
Loud.
It's well, you know,
Not
here's
Reva.
the weird thing. I was watching Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that the female warrior bodyguard people there for, you know, I forget the name of the character. She was brilliant and, you know, very fierce, you know, and somebody that could have been well developed and obviously in very good shape.
That was she plays Michonne in The Walking Dead. What was her name?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but the thing I like about that group was that they were warrior women, but they were also women.
Yeah. Oh no,
Like
they were not hiding their femininity at all, other than with obviously the haircut. But yeah, I mean,
but when you see them in any other, Black Panther was, I think, unique in that sense.
It was
But
beautiful.
when you saw them in any other film of late, it's the exact opposite. They literally tried to strip them of their femininity in any way.
Even with the bald head and
Thank you,
everything,
Monkey Cheapest.
it actually fit the narrative when it come to the show, because they were the high guards. They were interchangeable, and the fact of the matter is, it stopped them from getting anything pulled during battle. So I mean, they made it still look beautiful and feminine at the same time, even though they were bald.
And you had the contrast too, because you had Nakia and you had their mom, who were the princess types. So you had a variety, you had diversity, right?
Yeah.
In their portrayals, but in other places you just don't see that.
Yeah, you're right. And that's, again, I just thought I would bring it up because I mean, you can tell a difference even then, right? How we started to go from, feminine women. I mean, look, they tried to make, it's going to piss me off. Black Widow, less feminine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you completely misunderstand, the reason that she's so successful is because she's underestimated because of her femininity.
Exactly.
It's like, it frustrates me so much.
They don't see any strength in womanhood. They see it as a weakness.
Well, but there are many strengths of women. Do you realize men rely to a certain extent on women in some form or fashion, whether it be a mother figure, a wife, a grandmother type, a sister? I mean, Mark just got done speaking about how close he is to his sister. These ties are important, and beyond just familial bonds. Women are the yin to the yang, guys. I mean, even if you're a same-sex attracted person to, if you're a guy, you like guys, it's fine. But there are women in your life that are key and essential, that you are constantly relying on for things. It's absolutely bonkers. But let me try to finish this up real quick because we're nearly done. I think I have one paragraph left to read. The 60-year-old, who is a professor at the University of Toronto, temporarily quit Twitter in May after blowback for his comments that the plus-size Yumi News Sports Illustrated cover is not beautiful and that no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that, which is speaking to what Mark was talking about. And Peterson describes himself as a traditionalist. Yeah, and what really bummed me out is that this is just one more article that's a nail in the coffin for the trade paper called The Wrap. At a point in time, The Wrap was good. Susan Waxman did some great work over there. She differentiated it from the other tabloid style rags that Hollywood picks up, known as the trades, right? Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. Right now, if you're looking for more credibility, you unfortunately are looking at the Hollywood Reporter now and not The Wrap, which bums me out.
They do get some good leaks, though. They do get some good leaks. You just have to keep in mind their bias.
No, heavily. Yeah. And again, it's access media, folks. And it's something I've been talking about more frequently in my videos. They cover things the way they cover them so they can keep covering stuff. That's all it is. So, and I got what you sent me, my friend. So which one of these do you want me to do?
The last one, the DuckDuckGo. These are the search results for whenever you type in Gina Carano and Joe Rogan. They're all
let me grab them real quick.
Essentially.
Yeah, of course. Let me grab that.
So we can just take our pick, whichever one jumps out.
Okay, well let me whip this out for everybody.
Did everyone get a chance to see Gina on Joe Rogan?
I didn't get to watch that.
I
heard
did.
about it.
All right, so here we are. You can see who I watch, by the way, because I'm sure that's part of the logarithm when it comes to the videos that pop. But you can see here. So from Uproxx, you have Joe Rogan shuts down Gina Carano's something. Latest is Stevie
her theory that COVID was designed to intentionally hurt people.
Right. And then let's see. Again, this is a Mediaite, which is garbage. Wow, it's all garbage. Wait a minute. Okay, so Uproxx, garbage. Okay, garbage tier. Mediaite, garbage tier.
Almost word for word as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, well, again, it's a newswire thing. And somebody sends out the marching orders. The NPCs get the download. Sometimes the firmware doesn't get uploaded exactly right. It's a little bit corrupted. So, they get a twitch when they're delivering it. And this is the kind of crap we get. Yeah. Joe Rogan and Gina Carano on fat shaming.
Yeah, that's what she was saying, that she needed someone to. She doesn't. When someone says, "Oh, you're losing a bit of weight," blah blah, it doesn't work, and she needs someone to basically say, "Geez, you're getting fat. Get off your ass," sort of thing. She said fat shaming works.
It does
for a lot of people. It works.
He's not wrong. Yeah,
well,
actually,
that's something I did actually mention in one of my videos too, when I was talking about them criticizing the Euphoria actress for wearing a cute little dress. They were upset because she represented the body type that they hate, which was thin and healthy, athletic, and also curvy. She actually has a body. But they were so upset about that because that's not the image they want to promote, because God forbid more women look at her and say, you know what, maybe I need to go to the gym.
The same thing happened with Adele, with Rebel Wilson. As soon as they lost weight, they had nothing but hit pieces come out on them. They had a journalist outing Rebel Wilson as gay, and threatening to do it publicly because he's against her losing weight. I'll be back in a second.
I remember that with Adele. They said she was a traitor. Like, a traitor to what? Obese people?
Crazy.
Right.
They want you. They want you a fat, genderless blob.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being that. I'm not interested in. I mean, I'm overweight right now. I'm uncomfortable with my bigness, right? But I'm working on reducing my bigness, and believe me, I'm having help because the boss is fat shaming me out of my bigness. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But it's another good reason why I started the DIY channel that I did, is because now I'm doing even more than I was doing already, which I wasn't sitting around all day. I mean, obviously I got to work and do some other stuff, but now I'm trying. Eventually, I guess I'll be monetizing my honeydew list.
Do it.
So
why not? Is that before or after the knuckleball? Someone asked in the chat.
Well, no, I will teach everybody how to throw a knuckleball. You know what? I will do it. You're gonna, you know what? And then you guys are gonna shut up and focus on something else to tease me about. So.
Well, yeah, we'll save that for the shaving stream.
The shaving stream? Oh, that's coming up. Oh, I'm excited about that. Man, I'm telling you, I spent good money on the Founders kit for the Jeremy's razors.
Oh, the Jeremy's ones, yeah. What are they like as an actual razor? Because they don't ship internationally yet.
Okay, they weigh a ton, right? The handle just weighs like a ton. The razors are high quality. It's multiple blades. The shaving cream that comes with it is very good for your skin. Of course, I've only been shaving my cheeks and my neck so far because the shaving stream is going to strip all this off. But well, that's why I use the razor.
You haven't shaved your nipples yet? I'm disappointed.
Oh man. This is
I'm
taking
not
a
going to
turn.
spray lotion on my face like Az did last night either.
Do you do product reviews?
I would love to. I've been thinking about that. I mean, why not? I mean, I bought a brand new laptop. I'd love to talk about it.
So yeah, just let me know when it comes to certain things like body lotion and lubricants, and then I'll watch it.
I figured. I'm gonna find a building.
Your mind is going places, Grant. I tell you.
When I release my body and hair,
no, just leave it at that. When I release my body, here we go.
When I release my body and hair care line, which is coming up by the end of the year, another thing I'm being shamed into finishing. Then I'll be offering that to everyone. Oh, thank God, Tom's here. Oh,
I know. Bail us out, Tom.
Please help.
What stupid crap are you guys talking about now?
Culture is a manscaper.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
See, the whole
Grant
plan
wants
was
to release bodily fluids. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he wants to weave his beard into his pubes and then pluck himself like a harp.
I love all of you
people. I don't even know what you can do with that, Tom. Even you can't save this.
I'm not sure I can at this point. I think it's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late, baby. Now it's too late.
Where is Scott?
Wait, Darius said Tom uses vanishing cream on his
Something inside has died, and I can't hide it. I just can't fake it.
Oh my God!
This is what I love. Mark and I sing the same language.
This is turning into a karaoke stream. I'm down for this.
All right.
There you go. Take it, Tom. Yeah. But is that it for the Jordan Peterson thing? You know what? I don't even know what he really said, though. Like, what did he exactly say about Ellen Elliott Page?
I don't know what he said either, but I said what I said in the chat. I'm not going to say it out loud, but you can highlight it in the chat.
He basically just said scientifically in 128 characters or less what actually occurred and, what he thinks about it.
Well, it's not that part. It's because he dead named it. That's what they're getting him on.
So what?
That's what I'm saying. That's all it is. It wasn't the other words. It was just those two words. Technically,
there is
only
no
one word.
crime in that.
Yeah, I know, but that's the reason. That's the problem that they have with it. It's because he said the word Ellen instead of Elliot.
He said the name her mama gave her.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm going to quote the original dead namer. You want to call me Prince, you can call me Prince. You want to call me the artist, you can call me the artist. You want to call me the symbol, you can call me the symbol. You can call me whatever the hell you want to call me. I don't care. It's all the same to me.
Ah, yes. That was Free Prince Jr., wasn't it? Yeah.
And what was the quote about Cash's Clay?
Wrong Prince.
What the
Mama call him Clay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Clay.
And Mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
Oh God, that was so good.
Yeah, he did make him punish in the ring when he said, "They said, what's my name? What's my name?"
Yeah.
Say my name. Say my name. Yeah. Acting kind of shady.
Say, baby, I love you if you ain't running game.
There we go.
Say my name. Say my name. That new Beyonce song is like all over the place. I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan at all, but this "You Can't Hurt My Soul" thing.
Yeah.
She, to me, I don't know what the big thing is. It seems to me like she has officially moved into her share, part of her career, because that's all that is. I'm sorry. I know the Bayhive is gonna come after us.
I agree with you.
And Mark's canceled.
I like how she's able to evolve. I just hope she doesn't do like Madonna and regress. Because Madonna had reached a point in her career where she had become more mature. Her music had become more right when she was pregnant with her daughter. She released an album. I forget the title of it, but that was to this day one of my favorite albums from her. And she could have stopped right there.
That was the one with the blue cover. I'm trying to remember. Crap. Oh man.
What was on that album?
You're not wrong.
There's nothing on Madonna's body that's regressing. I think everything's going the opposite direction.
Well, with
Ray of Light. Ray of Light.
That's what. The blue cover. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was so good.
Yeah. Talk about reaching down deep into
You're talking about Madonna's last good album.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Beyonce hasn't reached her last good album yet, but I hope she doesn't.
Never been a huge fan, but hey.
Dang.
Could be worse.
Lizzo.
Exactly. When we've hit peak Lizzo, that's when we're fucked.
I like that she includes like elements.
I don't think she could even peak.
What now?
What was that? You like that she does what now?
Oh, I like that she incorporates Louisiana culture in her music.
Who, Lizzo?
No.
Yeah. She represents that hard. Yes, she does. Yeah, I'll give her that. It's just I just want to see her get some better production, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Obviously, a bunch of people love her, so big shout out to her. But yeah,
but people don't quit your job without a plan.
What's really fun is that we kind of hit all the subjects.
Did we now?
I think so.
We did. So YouTube can't be upset with us now. I mean, they can, but
so I came in for nothing.
Well, no, you came in because we needed the counter to Culture's hair product, so we needed that balance. So
yeah, we needed your vanishing cream.
Do we have any updates on Billy Joe from Green Day? He said he's leaving the country. Do we know if he's made good on that? Because I don't know yet.
No, he just bought another house though.
Where?
That is an interesting discussion. I don't know if that'd be a good discussion for this channel or maybe Monday nights, but
yeah, Scott, go free speech. So go.
I think Jane, you were in that group chat when I brought that up, where I said, it's an interesting question. If you do renounce your citizenship, what rights are you actually giving up? Maybe some of these people should start to think about those things. And you brought up a few of those points, Jane. I mean, it was kind of a rhetorical question, but at the same time, it is a very important question because As an American citizen, you have a lot of rights that you would lose if you renounced said citizenship, probably.
Is he
That's
married?
true, but
And if so, is it to an American?
I think my point though was that as rich as he is, he's not. It won't matter.
No, I know it's stupid. It doesn't matter. None of it's going to matter. It's just posturing.
Why won't he just do it though? That's my thing. Like if you don't want to be an American anymore, okay, cool. Go to your embassy or wherever you are and tell them you don't want to be one.
Because one thing I learned about, when I was watching the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is that man has an island. She was just casually talking about, well, we were on Johnny's island. I'm like, dude, he has an island? These people are truly on a whole other level of reality.
Right.
So when Billy Joe says, I'm going to leave America, okay, if he's got money like that, why not? He's got his own, these people got their own islands and stuff,
Why not?
That's why it's so hard to believe a lot of her accusations, because they don't realize that a lot of these people, like when you get to a Johnny Depp level, or even like another one from the recent, well, not recent past, but from the past that reminds me of, is like the Michael Jackson case. People forget that people like his size, when you get to that level, you are basically a whole corporation in and of yourself, right? So like almost 24 hours a day, you have an army of people working for you, doing shit. So like the fact that she can't produce one fucking witness, speaks about, the same thing, like I said, with the Michael Jackson case, like, that was the same thing that like Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin come out and said later, is like, you guys don't understand. When people say they stayed in Michael's bedroom's bigger than most people's houses. Yeah. Right?
Dude, he had a bed room. That sleeps 50 adults. His bed sleeps 50 adults. Picture that in size. His bed.
Oh, yeah. It was, that house was just crazy.
There was even separate rooms within the room, like kind of thing. Like and that's the thing, is they painted it one way and it came out another. And that was the same thing with Amber. She tried to paint the situation one way, and it's very difficult for any of us to believe it. And her PR team is out there like a mofo, because I'm getting stuff on my Twitter. I'm getting everywhere. I don't know if you guys saw that. I've been retweeting this stuff. It's like, why is this shit in my feed?
At any point, she would just shut up. People could move on.
Right?
She keeps talking and just go away for a little bit.
I don't know. And this is an opinion-based question, and it's open to everyone. Has she said enough to get sued for defamation again?
I think so. And isn't that why she's asking to have, what was that deal she's asking to have to do with the case? Like, she wants the defamation thing pulled or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
They can't. That's the thing. That the state that they picked had that law in place. That she can't change that now.
Yeah, I know.
If she wants to appeal it, she has to pay the whole.
I don't remember the specifics. Yeah, but if anybody does,
doesn't she have to pay $8.5 million and then pay in a bond and pay the interest?
She'd have to put up the bond.
Yeah, and the interest, right?
Yeah,
she could pledge it.
She could borrow it.
35% minimum to be able to do it.
Okay, so $8.5 million if you go to a bondsman is what, $850,000?
But that's only 10%. So
is that right?
Well, it's not. It's not a like a criminal bond. I think she would have to pull up the total amount.
Whoa, shit. Okay.
I don't think anybody would cover her right now because she's not employable.
Oh, Elon, didn't he pay something else last time?
Maybe. Yeah, Elon's the only one who could.
No, Tugs would do it because he's going to monetize it more. So.
Well, no, she can't shut up about it now. That's the whole thing. This is it. This is her career. Andre and I have been saying this now for a while. Her and her lawyer, what's her face, Elaine, are going to go on this tour for the next 20 years talking about how she's a victim and nobody will listen to her. And she'll just get away with it because Johnny just doesn't have the time to really piss around with it. And he knows that everybody believes him now. Yeah. So it makes no sense for him to really keep taking her ass back to court. And what is he going to get?
He and Iron Man. God, I can't believe I just forgot his name.
Tony Stark.
Tony
Stark. Robert Downey Jr.
They did a TikTok together recently.
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny. He is living his best life right now. He does not care about her or what she does because he's proven himself.
And the world
she
loves
is
him.
Still defaming him, but I think he's done with her.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Made his point.
And this is what it is here. Pinochet's helicopter tours. Judge requiring full $10 million for filing the appeal. That's what it is.
And
yeah.
she only has 30 days to file it or something.
Typically.
Because she don't have $10 million.
Nobody's going to give her that money. Nobody. I don't care how much dirt she has on somebody.
Not even Elon Musk.
She should just go on with her life at this point.
Yeah, that's the best thing that you can do. Do a couple of shitty low budget films, work on a craft, and then in time people will forget.
I don't think she will, because we heard early on that we had heard this is the trades, not like us saying. I'm talking about the trades. We had heard that read that basically Johnny's team was trying to give her a deal to not have to pay the amount or the full amount, and they weren't having it. And basically, because I can tell you, and we all know that one of the stipulations was shut the fuck up.
She just can't do it.
She just can't do it. Exactly. That means somebody convinced her that there's more monetary value in her continuing down this fucking road than there is if she just shuts the fuck up, takes a minimal or next to nothing payment off of him, and just tries to reestablish her career in a couple of years when everybody's kind of forgotten about this. But no, you're right. She's going to keep going, and that's the narcissism. That's the sociopath. Exactly. That's that part of her that can't let it go. Right. And she is convinced in this that if everybody gets to see these things that she didn't get to put out there in the court, that we're going to suddenly fucking believe her.
That are completely hearsay.
Right.
Because a therapist at any level, whether it be a social worker or a psychologist, psychiatrist, doesn't matter. They have to be your advocate. They are advocating for their patient and the patient's needs. And so those notes are going to be, secondary, if at best, which means she could be telling.
Just call the doctor.
Yeah, and
at the moment, she's just drowning person grabbing at whatever straws nearby, and that's all it is. She's looking for that Hail Mary that we all know is not coming.
I think she's just a narcissist, and she can't stop. This is what when you beat a narcissist, they lose their freaking mind.
Well, you're right.
It's also too the investment. They're heavily invested in the victim thing. It's kind of like Juicy Smollett. He won't shut up. He'll never admit that he was full of shit. You know what I mean? Because he needs people to see him as this person who had this great wrong done to him. He's never going to stop talking about it. He'll never give it up. What's up to Hacker?
You don't have to super chat, bro.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? But right above Hacker's comment, Pinochet made an interesting comment there too. Because this is the other thing. This is what I was more so talking about. The judge is requiring $10 million in the court to. It is punishing her for the statement she made lately, disparaging the juror. Yeah, she was trying to claim that the 15th juror was a plant. Did you hear this shit?
I did not hear that part.
She's running around trying to claim this now. She's trying to push for like not a hung jury, but a mistrial or whatever.
Mistrial. Or maybe she got a mistrial displayed afterwards.
Maybe she was trying to buy a plant from the 15th juror.
Probably.
Okay.
But what was interesting too was, and I think dangerous and unethical for her attorney, was going around and accusing the jury of violating the court order by exposing themselves to social media with no proof.
Right. And again, this is that guy's going to run the hell out of it. Rottenborn is going to be like, you know what? Enjoy, Elaine. Peace out. Because there is no upside for any attorney now on that side of the equation. There wasn't one.
They didn't get paid to start off with. That's the biggest thing. Their money was all tied into her winning.
Exactly.
I don't think that's true.
I think no. I think Grant's right in that respect, and I think that's why Elaine has hitched herself. At least because what's his face, Rottenborn doesn't have anything else to gain by being any part of her bullshit. He's a decent enough lawyer. He can probably keep his head down for a year or two, and nobody will notice.
I can't speak intelligently on this, but I do believe that she has tons of billable hours, considering that I think those very same attorneys said that she has $6 million worth of legal fees.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Elaine's not walking away because she's not walking away from this payment. Rottenborn, on the other hand, he can just take it as a wash and go into the next case. I don't think Lane's as great of a... she's showing exactly the kind of lawyer she is.
He was just an associate on the case. That was the whole point. It wasn't his case.
Yeah. And I think she hitched to her because that's the only way she's going to get paid.
And that was probably the only lawyer she could find who really agreed with her, because I think at one point either her lawyers quit or she fired them because they weren't, my opinion, they weren't going along with her BS and she wasn't listening to what they had to say.
I gotta ask if anybody feels like the ACLU had to even put distance between themselves in this because they were so compromised in this whole thing.
Well, how did that work out with the thing with Johnny Depp? Does he have to pay them?
He's going to tell them to suck a dick.
I would too. And eHacker is right. Yeah, you guys, Tug, all those guys.
You guys were amazing.
Yellow Flash, we've been giving you guys plenty of props this whole time because, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be as informed as we are. Absolutely. About this case. So like, and that's what I was saying to people, awesome. My general public friends, as I call them or whatever, because they'll talk about it and it's like, oh yeah, we've known about this stuff for a while, and even my buddy who's like a huge Johnny Depp fan didn't even know about a lot of this stuff. It's like, dude, if you just followed what I do and my friends do, then you'd know. But
check out eHacker and eHacker's channel and all the work eHacker's done, because we do have some real experts here.
Oh, Paul, he was doing this before just about anybody.
And it's crazy too that they would expect him, the one who won the case, to pay the cost.
You have to donate a super chat.
Good.
I think
we do appreciate it.
I think the only reason they're going to try and get away with it, and they may even actually have a case, Jane, is because he did lose the one part of it.
But that part didn't involve. I know they would have to show that the costs incurred.
I know.
In whatever they acquired from them in terms of documentation or whatever, that was attributable to that case. And I don't know.
Here's the thing is it's kind of funky because they weren't. See, that's the thing too. I agree with you. I think in actuality, since they were kind of semi co-defendants in a way, even though they weren't technically on the line for anything, it was their fucking article that they put out there. You would think that I would think as a judge, and I don't know the rules of anything like that, but I would look at it and go, why are we here? Like, you needed to defend yourself on behalf of this woman, basically, because it was your article that put her in this position. Go to her for this.
Right. They can have that. They can go back to court and say, hey, judge, you assess, these costs. I don't know if they've done that yet or not, but.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny's all that worried about it, or he might just pay it off just to get it off his case. Because it's like, it might be cheaper for him to just pay whatever, because they're looking for what, like 100
okay,
something.
So they're saying it was initially 86 and the
86
court reduced it to 38. So she's kind of split it in his favor.
Okay, so in that case, it'd probably be cheaper to him to pay it than actually pay the lawyers to go to court and fight it at that point.
And I think that's half the point. They're trying to get whatever they can. But anyway, guys, we're gonna have to start wrapping this up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
And you know
Christy.
What? Yeah, hey Christy, miss you, love.
Hey Christy.
Look, I think Depp should sue the ACLU, to be honest with you, because
I do too.
Absolutely.
They were the
honestly, that's the next step. Yeah,
they were the inciting incident in all of this.
Well, tear that institution down because they're not obviously doing what they were built for to begin with.
They no longer protect civil liberties. They protect bullies and they advocate for bullies. They don't protect everyday people anymore.
Certainly, in this case, they didn't fully investigate her, vet her before they went along with this attack on him. So,
they're time for vengeance. I think Rittenhouse, Depp, everybody, make them pay. Make them pay.
Yeah.
Hey,
I agree.
Speaking of making them pay, do check out eHacker's channel. He should not have to pay a super chat for us to say how great he is. Check out all of the great channels that we have represented in our chat right now. You guys are so important to all of us, not just the creators, but all of you that are fans of all of us. And I can't say enough nice things about everybody that we have that follows us around. Who follows each and every one of us around. I appreciate that. But we do have to wrap it up. Grant, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, so we'll start off with things that you're talking. Gotcha. What have you got going this week?
I've got a lot going on. Of course, we always have the 6-minute daily every weekday. We do that in the morning time for most people, 11:45 East Coast, and I think, and 8:45 a.m. on the West Coast. We've got 4 videos coming out this week. One of them is obviously KGF Chapter 2 review. We've got one coming out on Lightyear versus the Minions, which I'm going after. I think that's Monday's video, but there's more in there, and obviously some look at some finance on the studio side.
Isn't that kind of like Schwarzenegger beating up on a kid with cerebral palsy, though?
Perhaps, but I do know this that we have some.
Why can't you stand upright and fight like a man? Come on,
We have some. My outro is 5 minutes because I get interrupted all the time. Anyway,
we do this on purpose just to drive him nuts.
I know. But anyway, but we do have some studio news that you are going to see layoffs. And they're starting to dance around the word recession, kids. So be sure to check out that video either Tuesday or Wednesday. But
let's go, Brandon.
I have to thank my editor. His name is Mr. Grant Gregory. He does all of the amazing edits that you see. And then he's purely responsible for the virtual studio that I now occupy on my videos. So thank you for that, Mr. Grant Gregory. And with that, let's move on. I know, Grant, that you have to get scooting. So Grant, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and where you want to be.
Well, I really want to be here with you guys, but I've got a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, you can just catch me on everyone's channel, because that's apparently what I do now. And every day I do an edit for someone, and yeah, that's where you can pretty much find me. And check me out on Aluminium Spork on Monday, where we talk about the paranormal and the macabre side of life with Scott. I'm not too sure if we have a special guest this week. I'll have to look into that one. The mad dump during the week, and probably yelling at park cars in the next couple of weeks.
Sounds great. I know we appreciate you there. Thanks for being with us. I know you have to get going. Next up, let's talk about Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Archives, Midnight's Edge Espanol, Midnight's Mead Radio 1, Mead Radio 2, Mead Radio 3, maybe in the future. I don't know, but Tom's here. Hi, Tom.
Why would you want to talk about that fat fuck?
You?
Oh, me? Oh, sorry. I forget who I am sometimes. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I really don't. And I mean that in every aspect. Like, not only do I not know what shows and shit I'm doing anymore, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just staring at a screen.
You're on Skype.
And I'm probably having a stroke because I smell toast.
Did you make toast?
No, I'm just kidding. No, you can find me. No, actually, I did make some butter noodles a few minutes ago.
Ooh.
That's what I was eating before I come on. Yeah, hell yeah. Threw some Parmesan on them. It was good.
Yum.
Exactly. You can find me at Midnight's Edge, of course. Midnight's Edge After Dark and all the places culture said. And yeah, I might pop up somewhere, somehow, some way, sometime.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I hope that you pop up on the Sunday, the late night culture stream.
Yeah, just remember, karate with infinite patience.
Karate with infinite patience, indeed.
You and I are rare people indeed.
And now the two stars of tonight's show. We'll start first with Mark with a C, the man with a plan, and just probably one of the best fathers I've ever heard of in my life. Mark, tell everybody what's you got going on, my friend.
Well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Scott. Obviously, he's somewhere taking care of his in-laws, I guess, but don't worry, we got you, brother. And also, Damaj and I want to give a big shout out to Damaj and I. He's been under the weather, and much love, bro. If you're watching, watching the replay or whatever, just steady as she goes, man. You're doing good. And of course, check me out with the Dark Council. Every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we go crazy. So please join us there. Of course, on my channel, Mark with a C. I just do what I do, social commentary, a bunch of goofing off, having fun, and making, some conversation, hopefully, that we can have going back and forth. Guys, be safe this weekend, July 4th and everything. It's a great time and everything, but go into the weekend, hopefully with 10 fingers and come out of it with 10 fingers. Just watch yourselves, okay? And thank you.
No, thank you, Mark. And last but not least, probably the best voice on YouTube and somebody that I just absolutely adore in just the weirdest way. We've got Jane Theory. Jane Theory has multiple channels. She doesn't promote her lifestyle channel as much as she should.
Feasts and Festivals is my new channel where I have basically travel and festival videos. So definitely check that out because I really enjoy that. Giving you guys a little taste of Louisiana and the world when I get a chance to go places. On the main channel, though, I did just drop a video talking about Netflix cancellation of their Virtue Signal show, Q-Force. And my live stream from this morning is still up. So definitely check that. I may leave that one up because people seem to really like it.
It's good.
And tomorrow we'll be reviewing Stranger Things on Nina Infinity's channel.
Oh, that's awesome.
So check that out.
Oh man, I'll say it again. I know I said it a few minutes ago, but thank you all for being here. I know Scott appreciates it. We have just an amazing panel that always supports this show. Scott, I hope your in-laws are worth it, dude. I mean, I'm just saying. And yeah, Mad was here for far too long, from what I'm to understand. But anyway, no love lost there. But anyway, wow. Do we have anything else we need to talk about before we go? No, we don't. Other than the amazing people who are Scott's members, and I'm going to run the credits right now. Here we go.
That was the dump. It was the dump. You watch the dump on Sporking News. It's the dump, like the one your dad used to take every morning and stink up the bathroom before you had to.
It is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
They've done great. They've done great. We got Culture Casino out there. We got Sporking News Podcast. We got author Stephen Walton. We've got Lorena Creel. We've got Vigilante Williamson. We got Jake D. I'm forgetting somebody. Oh my God. I'll remember it later. Brain fart. But he says Kathleen Kennedy will never be fired.
Ezra Miller's on the run. It's another day and it's another one. He's some serial groomer trash. Now, how can Warner Brothers sell the Flash? And I wonder, I wonder.